Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Championship Sunday. It's time to give out the big trophies and time to give out the big points for our champions and winners here today. It's time for the IAME KA Masters pre-final event, and here is your starting lineup. Brant Estes will be on the front row. Alongside him will be Eric King with Yevgeny Panenko in third. We only have 3 cards. Shane Burkett was scheduled, but unfortunately is not on the field here with us here today. But of course, my name is Taylor Burris. Joining me once again is Bradley Dalton. And Bradley, we saw a lot of exciting action, close finishes, chaos, and of course, expecting to see that here once again, starting with our KA Master pre-final event.
Yeah, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, here as the KA Masters get ready to roll. Of course, if you're joining us live, it's nice and bright and early here, 9 o'clock in the morning, but always the perfect time on Sunday to go racing on a championship day here as the karts will get rolling. Yeah, Brant Estes, I think we've talked about it. It's been domination for Brant Estes since the beginning, but I do think here with Panenko taking that win in heat number 2 yesterday, I think is going to bring a good challenge here today to Estes as we get going, and you can already see that is the case early on here. They're staying much closer than they have throughout the day. We'll see how it plays out throughout the process of this 9-minute pre-final today.
Yep, so it's going to be a total of 9 minutes plus 2 laps for our pre-finals this morning, as well as when we have our afternoon with our Briggs category. Later on today, of course, we will have a little bit of a different scenario for our finals that will be happening. Those being, of course, a total of 12 minutes plus 2 laps. So we're going to double, not increment it by much, but it's still enough to provide some excellent racing here in our KA and 206 categories. Currently, right now, Brant Estes is leading the charge by a little bit of a margin, but we saw yesterday with Panenko, he had quite a bit of pace to where he was able to take one of the heat race wins away from Estes.
Yeah, that heat number 2, seeing Panenko go for that last second pass, be able to pull that off and go through, it was much excitement to watch through. I was saying much, it doesn't make sense in the line of that there, but it was very, very exciting to watch and see how they go through. So as we watch, and there's a rare mistake from Brant Estes. He drops it off there into the double left-hander.
He certainly did. A tough break there for your champion, well, soon to be crowned champion in the KA Masters division, as he will get it wound back up. The good news is he still has plenty of time and he has the pace. Problem is he's got only to catch up to King and Panenko, and we'll see what the gap is once they come across the line. As Panenko comes across, currently setting the fastest lap of the race, a little over 2.5 seconds behind is Eric King, and we got to wait a little bit for Brant Estes. He's got to make up 9 seconds.
The good news for Brant Estes is there is plenty of time to go through about 6 minutes, 45 seconds plus 2 laps for him to try to find that time through. The bad news is that is a big moment there for him. It's rare. The good news, again for him, the second set of good news, is that there's no real championship implications for him. Shane Burkett was his big championship rival, if you could call it that, and Shane is unfortunately not here today. For Brant, the big thing is that he's shown up to all 3 rounds. That's really what's made the difference here for him versus Shane Burkett, who was only here for round number 1. So, when you look at everything, that is the big thing. Consistency and being able to make it to all 3 rounds has been key for him here. But even when he's been at all 3 rounds, he's been fast. So now at this point for Panenko, it's just try to hold a consistent pace, and we'll see where the times line up, how those gaps close. Watch that 2-second gap from Brant Estes. See how quickly he can close up to King, try to salvage at least a second.
And also another thing too, I have to say, Brad, is that this is also going in lockstep of how his first round went. In round one, he finished third in heat race number one, and then won his second heat in the pre-final, finishing second in the final. Today, right now, it's kind of tracing. Yesterday, he won his first heat race, finished second in his second heat race. If he gets a third, and then possibly is able to come out with a win, he kind of goes pretty much this is identical what was happened to him in round number one compared to round two, where he just swept the entire weekend.
It's kind of funny too to see how things can trail that way. Sometimes you have that moment of just deja vu, and you got to wonder for Ray Estes, is he sitting in the cart right now going, okay, this is deja vu to round number one 2 months ago? Because it certainly does feel like it, as you said here. You can see where those gaps continue to close here, as he's currently sitting about 15, 16 seconds behind Paninko. We'll see as it goes. The only other concern I really have about that spin for Brant Estes is, remember that the same tires have to be used the whole weekend. So if he just had that big spin there, what did that do to the tires? How is it feeling? And is that going to affect him into the final today?
Only time will tell as we get ready to see here what the gap is as they come across the line. Panenko setting a 54.22. Eric King 6 seconds back, and Brant Estes is now setting the pace with a 53.9. So he's picking up time, but the problem is it's not enough. He's still got quite a bit of work to do here in this stage of the race. And of course, one of the things to talk about is he pulls off, or somebody pulls off. Is that Brant Estes who's pulling off? It is.
That might be Brant Estes. Oh, this is big. Did that spin into the barrier do more damage than we realized? Is this a bad sign of things to come here? We'll have to find out and see if we can find out behind the scenes. Or genuinely, I have to wonder, is that big damage on that cart and it was worse than we thought? Or, I mean, he set the fastest lap though last time over, Taylor. I wouldn't think. I don't know.
I don't know either. That's kind of surprising. So he's out of the race. He will finish P3 and get P3 points. Of course, like we touched on, it's not major championship implications. None of his other competitors who are battling for him for the championship have made starts this pretty much all season long. Everyone's either made one start. He's the only driver who's made 2 or more starts this season. So Brant could just be realizing, you know what, why put the cart through its paces? Just go out here, come off the pre-final, get set for the finals, and then try and do it all over again.
Definitely, I think that would be a wise option for him as well, going through 2 minutes, 45 seconds plus 2 laps to go here. And I mean, yeah, I would say if that was anything, it's a case of don't burn up the equipment is really what I would be expecting. We'll see if we can get some official confirmation from trackside to get a good idea of what his decision was and why he decided to do that. Again, I didn't see any damage though. That was the big thing. So I do think that's genuinely one of those just deciding to pull off here. Paninko now just running through the paces. I mean, running last lap of 55.8 here. So Taylor, he's not really pushing the envelope at all.
No, he's not. As a matter of fact, how about Eric King making some improvements on his lap time? He's been working his way through and picking up a couple of tenths here and there, and now he's only 6 seconds behind. So we'll see how this plays out as we keep an eye on the action here at AMP.
Tell you what, looking at some of the other events here to come up after this, IAME Micros is of course going to be the next run, 9 minutes plus 2 laps for everyone here in the pre-finals today. And well, Micros yesterday were fun as well, bringing things through, and I can't wait to see the championship implications in IAME Micros coming through. And there's not really going to be a case here of Spencer Height challenge. I'm just, if Spencer Height can be held back early on in Micros, I think that will give a great challenge for everyone else through. But of course, that means that Spencer Height has to have a bad start, which, based on my experience of Spencer Height, I don't know if that's going to happen.
Yeah, I agree. He would have to have a terrible race in order for anyone to try and challenge him for the race win here. And looking to go for 3 wins all throughout the season, he is looking to do that. it's going to be a fun one to watch for Spencer Hyde. And then, of course, we have a couple of others. We still have some championship implications from second on back between Valadez and Chase Cheney and Caden Pridemore. Those three can kind of still mix it up a little bit of how it will all play out from second to fourth in the championship. So we'll keep an eye on how that plays out. Amongst them currently is Luca Valadez, who holds second place, with Chase Cheney in third, Pridemore fourth. So it can swing either way depending on how this pre-final event goes.
Yeah, the pre-final event for micros, when it comes up here in a moment, is going to be a really, really exciting one to watch through. And then I'm kind of looking ahead as well. KA Senior and IAME Minis and KA Juniors, the rest of the classes to come up. So, I mean, Taylor, when I look at it, I think, with Championship Sunday, there's still championships to be decided. There's still positions to be decided. And, of course, everything still to play for, because once we get through here in this Southeast division, we take this Apex Karting Championship and we go Midwest.
Absolutely, and it's going to be an exciting championship in the Midwest. Of course, we'll have all that coverage live on Kart Chaser. I believe some of it kicks off around May, just after pretty much spring is over, when the snow starts melting up that way, pretty much around May. Of course, some great facilities out there in the Midwest that we'll be heading to, and you can catch it all live here on Kart Chaser before we head to the Apex Finals in Trackhouse Motorplex in October.
Yeah, I'm thinking that we're going to see a lot of overlap between the Southeast and the Midwest division going through in May. As you said, they kick off at Newcastle, great facility. And then it's G&J Kartway and Quaker City Motorsports Park in August, which Quaker City I am a big fan of personally. That is where I got to do one of my first big Kart Chaser in-person events there, and got to see that facility and absolutely loved it. It was a great drive up there. It was great in the area, and can't wait to see how the Apex Karting Championship handles all the way in August. Weird to think that we're talking about August when we're in March right now, but hey, welcome to karting. You got to plan ahead.
Absolutely, and also don't forget the sister company of the Apex Karting Championship, the Stars Championship Series. They get ready to kick off their season with Charlotte Motor Speedway for their championship, and it's going to be an exciting one. That kicks off next month in April, and it's going to be an exciting one for sure to see some of the biggest names in karting. We'll see, of course, the KAs, the OKN package, and shifters being some of the highlight series and classes to watch do battle at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
It's going to be so much fun. There's so much stuff going on Kart Chaser as well right now. One of the things to mention is that this is a triple header weekend for Kart Chaser. I think one of the first that we've had here, and I don't think it's the only one that we're going to have this year looking at it. So we, of course, have this weekend going on here, and then the other ones of the weekend as the checkered flag is out actually on this event. Paninko, King, and Estes rounding it out here. It was 3 seconds the gap between Paninko and King, so King able to close a little bit there, Taylor.
Absolutely. I think Paninko was just realizing what the situation was, decided to back it down, and of course, for King making some improvements, good run for him. He actually dropped into the 54-second bracket. As we take a look at the big track at Atlanta Motorsports Park, we'll see some motorcycles, and there's the clubhouse right there across from the kart track, and looks like the motorcycle racing will continue on here today as some of them are in the staging line set to go out on the track.
Again, I should have went over there and got one of those motorcycles and just seen if they would let me run a couple laps around the track. I know they wouldn't have, and honestly, I have no interest in that. I don't even know how to ride a motorcycle, so they probably would not have let me do such a thing as the motorcycles pull out here, and we wait on the micros to pull out here onto the kart track for their run here as we look at the karting clubhouse.
Absolutely. Of course, all the fun and action you can have here in Dawsonville, Georgia. Of course, you have the Motorsports Hall of Fame not too far from here, to where you can enjoy some motorsports history. And, of course, some of the other famous places around here. Of course, there is that famous restaurant. Whenever Chase Elliott ends up winning, they end up ringing the siren that alerts the entire state of Georgia that Chase Elliott is a winner in the NASCAR Cup Series.
How nice that must be to have a restaurant that rings a siren when you win, that tells everyone that you won. You don't even have to know if someone's watching the race. You just hear that siren and it goes, okay, There it is.
We know who won. Right now, we are waiting for our micros to head out on the track. And the question is going to be who can take the fight to Spencer Height out on circuit. Luca Valadez, Jace Cheney, some of the ones to keep an eye on. Pridemore trying to improve upon his positioning. One thing also to keep in mind is some of these drivers here, in order to make the finals, you have to compete in 2 or more races in the Apex Karting Championship, whether it be both in the 2 in the South Division or 2 in the North or Midwest Division, or 1 in each, in order to be granted access to compete in the Apex Finals later on in October. Currently, right now, in both of our categories, we do have some in the micro division who are looking to try to do that here, such as Spencer Height, Valadez, along with Jace Cheney, Caden Pridemore. But then, of course, there's some other heavy hitters that we're missing out on. Maddox Knives, who is not here with us today, along with, of course, drivers like Rower and Sloan and Remy Boss, who are only making their first start. So hopefully, later this year, when they head to the Midwest, they will make their way up there and have a chance to go and compete for the Apex Finals. As there they go, out onto the track.
Out onto the track we go here, and remember, they do like 1 full lap around before they get going. So before they actually race. So we'll see them get going around here and get ready to go. Spencer Hyde, of course, up front. Luca Valadez, that second row here that will try to give some challenge, or that second position. And then the second row is Wyatt Rower and Jace Cheney. Caden Pridemore is going to be starting 5th. Jackson Sloan and Remy Boss, the 7 carts here in IAME Micro. Taylor, I'm looking at it, and I think if Luca Valadez can have a good start, that's going to make all the difference. He's just got to be quick off the line.
He certainly does. I think it's going to have to be the biggest case for any one of these drivers if they want to take the fight to Spencer Height, is be aggressive on this opening lap here. Not make a mistake, not get the cart bogged down, and maybe they can try to put him in some traffic to where it'd be a little more difficult for him. So only time will tell. There's been only one driver who's been able to go toe-to-toe with him this season, and he's not here with us. That was Maddox Knives back over at the North Florida Kart Club. So let's see if anyone else can learn a thing or two and try and challenge for the race win here in the pre-final.
I love how early the carts form up in the micro and minis. They do a great job of getting formed up here, making sure that they are ready to go, that there's no issues coming up, and that they know when they get to the tram lines, they're going to get a green, they're going to get to race here. So seeing them coming through and along, I absolutely love this. Does it make it a little bit longer of a pace? Potentially, but is it better for them too to get that experience? Yes. Great to see here.
As the field now works our way into the final corner here to get set for 9 minutes plus 2 laps of racing action. And we will get the green flag set to go as Spencer Hyde and Company will lead us down into turn number 1. Field looks set, everyone looks clear. Look, check over the shoulder to see when they fire off, and away we go. Spencer Hyde already takes over the race lead quickly as they battle for second, but here comes Valadez, hot on his heels as they crest that 43-foot drop before making the climb back up to the top of the hill as they battle for second.
That battle for second continuing along here as they go through into the left here in front of what is called the pool room up in correction, not the Kart Clubhouse, but getting the local fans here to correct me. It's called the pool room coming through here up the hill and around we go, and we'll see where that heads through. Double left-hander, and everyone sitting nice and tidy right now. I think one of the things to watch is that green helmet of Valadez. He's a bit closer to Spencer Height than I think he's been all weekend. We'll see if he can close those gaps in.
He's going to try his best to do so as they make the run. Meanwhile, you have that battle for 5th position between Cheney, Sloan, and Remy Boss, who are having a good little fight. Caden Pridemore and Rower are having that fight for 3rd as they come across the line to start the opening lap here. And so far, Spencer Height currently has a 0.6 of a second lead over Valadez as they try to keep pace. Here comes Caden Pridemore and company, and Jace Cheney looking for his chance to move up a position.
All right, now actually coming in front of the clubhouse, the restaurant we talked about last run is called the Pool Room. This is actually the Karting Clubhouse, as the we'll call it. Everyone continuing through, and again, I don't see Height getting away nearly as much. I actually see that gap closing. Look at that pass for third coming up the inside here. Cheney and Rower, they're going to swap positions, and let's see if that pass can stick. We see moves sometimes end up in switchbacks through that double left-hander. Not this time. The orange helmet there of Cheney able to get a pass there on Wyatt Rower. And now they continue along the backstretch here. Taylor, all right, we see that the micros in this pre-final are ready to party.
They certainly are ready to party indeed as they come across the line. And I say Luca Valadez is ready to showcase he's got some pace to go toe-to-toe with Spencer Height as we watch the battle for third between Cheney and Rower as they head down the hill. As we go back up to the front of the field, here comes Valadez with a big head of steam here, and he's going to try his best to keep pace with Spencer Height, who is looking to once again sweep another weekend of racing action as they head into the double left.
One of the cool things here for the drivers, especially in this younger category, you will see every one of them have GoPros or 360 cameras or some sort of recording device there on the side where they can take a look and go back after the fact. And they'll take yesterday evening, with the day ending around 5 o'clock, they will take yesterday evening and they'll go and they'll sit and they'll look at what they did and they'll talk about their racing lines, what they can do better, where they can find time. And then sometimes you find on these Sundays the field completely flips, because here's the thing for Spencer Height, he was so quick yesterday. Luca Valadez could have went back last night and sat down and watched and said, okay, I can do this better, I can do that better, this is where I find time. One of the things we saw with a lot of the drivers was not running all the way out on the hill and carrying momentum, and you see right there Valadez doing much better today with that, to carry that momentum and make that run. And you're seeing the results as it goes, everything closing. Now granted, last lap Spencer Height was 0.2 of a second quicker than Valadez, but the lap before that Luca Valadez was half a second quicker than Spencer Height. So we're going to see them kind of swap back and forth, but I look for this to be a bigger challenge for Spencer Height than maybe it was expected coming into today.
I have to agree with you as we watch on this battle for the race lead here. And I got to say, Valadez took in some much needed notes to know what he needs to do to challenge with Spencer Height for this race lead. 5 minutes ago, and he's still running very consistent lap times, has stayed tucked in right behind him. Jace Cheney also making some headway to keep that gap somewhat stabilized. He's not really gaining, but he's not losing, which is a good thing. So he's working his way through, learning a thing or two, and pretty much your entire top three has broke into the 58 brackets time as we watch Spencer Height looking to try and hold position here, not want to waste the tires too much, but make sure he does not have the chance for Luca Valadez to get around him for position.
Yeah, it's a big balance thing here, and I've got to wonder for Spencer Height, what is the long-term projection? What was he told coming into this race? What was the discussion that was had between him and his family, his coach, his team? You know, what was the decision there for that younger driver of Spencer Height? Was it, hey, go out and just run this thing, make it work? Or was it, hey, go out, maybe don't overdo it? But let's be honest, it's kart drivers. It's our youngest class here. They're always going to drive it all the way, full bore, full beans, and we're seeing that right now. Spencer Height, half a second faster than Luca Valadez. So I think for Luca Valadez, I think his opportunity was early in the laps here. I think as this race is continuing, 3 minutes, 45 seconds to go here of this race, I think unfortunately for Luca Valadez, I think we might have seen the fastest of his run here. And look at Jace Cheney starting to close up too, all three in this picture right now. That orange helmet of Jace Cheney, I think, is going to start challenging the green helmet of Valadez here later into the race.
Keeping an eye on seeing if there's any other battles for position. You have a battle between Caden Pridemore and Jackson Sloan for 6th position, and then of course Valadez and Cheney, as we see here on screen. It's the green helmet of Valadez versus the orange helmet of Jace Cheney, who's been making some incredible pace right now to try and go for second, which is a big help for him given the fact of his positioning in the championship. So those two battle it out, and Jace Cheney gets around. That could be just enough for him to try and challenge for a second place in the championship. He'll look to the inside, try to find the opening, could not find his way to clear him as they come up to the top of the hill.
Yeah, you look at this micro championship here coming through. Jace Cheney is trying to overtake Luca Valadez in the points. He's been consistently finishing behind Valadez, And we'll see if he can challenge to the inside. He's going to go to the double left-hander here. He's going to go to make a move, and it looks like he's going to hold the inside there, force Valadez the long way around, but outside turns to inside, but he clears him before the S, and there we go. That is how Cheney gets a pass on Valadez. Valadez looks over the shoulder, seeing if there's anyone behind, and there's not. So for Luca Valadez, at this point, he's just got to get it up and going. Fastest kart, by the way, last lap here, Taylor, was Jace Cheney. Was faster than Spencer Height by 0.3 of a second.
How about that? That's going to be interesting to see what Jace Cheney can do, as he does finally move up into second place, but with 2 minutes plus 2 laps to go, he's 2.7 back. Let's see if he can pick up the pace just a little bit. He was currently 0.4 off the pace of your race leader of Spencer Height last time by.
Trying to see here if he can close that gap here. 2.7 seconds was the gap when they crossed the line. I'll tell you right now, it looks a lot bigger than it was here for them. But Spencer Height has, I don't even want to say stepped off the gas here, Taylor, because the thing is, looking at it, I mean, he's still within like 0.2 of his fastest lap. He's not the fastest part on track. That went to Jace Cheney with the help of some of that slipstream running through when he was trying to get past Luca Valadez. Back here in the back, we have Caden Pridemore and Jackson Sloan that have been running bumper to bumper as well for a good majority of this race. This is the battle for P6, and I'm curious to see can Pridemore hold off Jackson Sloan as they come through.
Well, it was a minute to go. We should see right around 3 laps here for our leaders as they come out of the final corner here. That would be Caden Pridemore and Jackson Sloan battling for that 6th position. Pridemore not having the best of runs for him. He needs to pick up the pace just a little bit if he wants to try and move up in the championship running order. As he tries to hold off a hard charger of Jackson Sloan as they work their way around the circuit.
Pridemore and Sloan running through here. Up front, it is still the Spencer Height show here with 15 seconds left to go. I think we do get a bonus lap out of this, Taylor, taking a look. It's close. It is a bonus lap. It'll be 3 to go here when they cross the line.
Bonus lap indeed for our leaders, and right now Spencer Height, he just has set it on cruise control for the time being as he will hold position over Jace Cheney. Still a good run for Jace Cheney for championship implications to get ahead of Valadez, because he has pulled away by over 3 seconds from Luca.
Time's pulling away, everyone coming through here. I think what's interesting was Cheney was faster than Height that last lap by just 0.08 of a second, though, just less than 1/10. But I mean, it's something coming through. So I think going into our final, I think Jace Cheney is going to be a driver to watch going into the final. And again, I say this is one of those, you go back and you kind of watch and you talk and you discuss. And I think for Jace Cheney, he realized, you know, if I can get up to second place, I can try to have a challenge here. His big thing was trying to get through. As we come across the line, it's white flag. It's 1 lap to go, 2 laps to go. Sorry, no. Let me remember we were on a bonus lap. 2 laps to go here. I think for Jace Cheney, if he can get ahead of Spencer Height at the start of the final and then force Spencer Height in a position he hasn't really been in all championship, which is fighting for a lead, I think it's going to be exciting to watch.
I have to agree. It is going to be an exciting one to watch here for the finals later on this morning as the field works their way around to come and get the white flag here next time by.
White flag next time by, still coming through, still coming around here. Spencer Height, you can see really working that wheel. He's really making sure those tires are in and together. And, well, this is really nice conditions for the day, too. I know we haven't really touched on the weather, but it's 63 degrees here in Dawsonville. 64 degrees as I refresh here as we reset at 9:30. And, well, by the time these karts are done, it's only going to be about low to mid 70s, so it's going to be a great day for great morning for karting. The afternoon, I mean, they get 82 degree weather, so in the afternoon, if you're running in the afternoon, it's going to be warm.
It's going to be a balmy day here as they watch on as Spencer Height comes out through the final couple of corners. He is set on cruise control here on Championship Sunday, looking to go for 3 wins in a row and looking to go sweeping the entire weekend in his class here as he looks to go back-to-back. He didn't go sweeping it last week or last time out in North Florida Kart Club, but he did have that chance to really showcase some incredible runs here. But now, as he goes down into the backstretch for the final time in this pre-final event, he is getting maximum points once again to extend his championship lead and collect the inaugural Apex IAME Micro Championship as Spencer Height wins IAME Micro.
Great win there from Spencer Height, and Jace Chaney again showing some good pace here. Again, on the final lap was faster than Spencer Height, so we'll see how the start of final goes here. Of course, there's no fight for Height in the championship, but Chaney and Valadez, they'd love to at least get a race win in this championship run and have some fun here today as they go. And here are your final results.
Absolutely. Next up on the docket is your IAME KA seniors, and we'll see them next here on Kart Chaser.
Are you ready to get behind the wheel? From Formula One to NASCAR and IndyCar, all the pros start here. For more information, check us out online at mcckarting.com or call us and go racing today.
Gee, looks like we're missing the engine. What the hell am I supposed to tag?
What do you mean? It's my Greyhound. It's all I need.
Where's the rest of it?
It doesn't matter. It's a Greyhound.
You gotta make way. Okay, you're good.
I'm sitting by here with Kyle, our race winner. Tell me how you did it. You were blazing fast out there, and I mean, you don't even have a go-kart, man. Tell me about it.
Yeah, you know, Norberg, Schmorberg, the Greyhound-powered Greyhound was great today. You know, it makes the difference. And the team's been working really hard back at the shop, and, you know, just shout out Greyhound.
Thank you, Kyle.
How the did you just win?
Doesn't.
Welcome back to Kart Chaser's coverage of the Apex Karting Championship pre-final event for your KA Senior, and here's how it looks. Daniel Perez and Sam Avrutsky are on the front row with Connor Corsi and Michael Michelle Zamprieri in fourth. Aiden Lieber and Evan Strasser in row 3 with Austin Thompson and Meyer Lewis in row 4. Rounding out your top 10 is Thomas Sherrick and Alex Siculio. 11th position.
Going through from there, we've got...
Go ahead.
Going from there, we got 14 karts going through. Santolino, Jacobson, Braden Heber, and Tyler Sims finishing this run out.
Absolutely. 9 minutes on the clock here. Daniel Perez looking to try and collect a championship in your KA Senior Division. He's doing what he needs to do at the moment as he is looking to try and sweep the weekend once again as they come across the line. Green flag is out. Levi Getz and Henry Wheeler and company not here this weekend in the KA Senior Division. But we'll see them later on in the 206 as they go 3 wide up the top of the hill. Once again, Perez has pulled away, but Sam Avrutsky ready to find his way up and have a chance to move out of trouble for the 903 machine of Thomas Sherrick in the Bobby Craig machine.
Thomas Sherrick trying to make it up that 43-foot hill. Can't tell if he's going to do it. It's going to be close for him at least, as we've got some great passing going on through the double left-hander here. Daniel Perez, as you said, just looking to sweep the weekend and secure that win. He's really got no challenge from behind at the moment. Of Trusky missed round 2 completely, and he's only at 422 points on the count. So it's going to be a big challenge to get from 422 to 774 in the course of a weekend here, especially when Perez has looked so strong so far going through the weekend. Corsi and Zamperi looking decent in 3rd and 4th as well as they go along.
Yeah, Connor Corsi could possibly finish in second in the championship, depending on how well he does this weekend. Of course, you can drop your worst finishing weekend in order to count towards your championship. So he can possibly, if you choose to, looking through, he could drop week number 2, was probably, well, they're both pretty much almost identical, but his overall finish in the finals from NOLA to the finals over in Jacksonville, he finished 4th there and then a 9th in Jacksonville. So he could probably drop round 2 and try and improve upon his point standings, depending on where he finishes this weekend, which is looking quite promising as he sits in 3rd position.
That'll be interesting to see when those final counts come through where they're at here, as we have side-by-side action further back in the field going down the main straight. They sort that out before they hit the downhill to go back uphill here. 4 stories down, 4 stories up. Well, I don't know if you can tell it's 4 stories down, but you certainly give it a run here. Look at the curve camera as we go through, and up front it's a battle for P3. Corsi and Zampieri going through, and then Strasser and Thompson trying to get a pass side by side as well. They try to shuffle positions into the double left-hander. That seems to be a popular passing game right there.
You saw Zampieri pointing over at Corsi like, hey, I got by you. I have a faster pace. Let's go and chase down your top 2. And they decided to understand the assignment and work their way around. Same thing with the driver of Zampieri, or Strasser and Thompson. They are trying to work together to catch up to your top finishers in the 3rd and 4th position.
It'll be interesting to see how they work together here, Strasser, Thompson, and Zaculio, as they run through. You saw the helmet points, and again, you see the difference at the run up the hill Zaculio is getting. Different carts have different abilities going up that hill, and it's not necessarily anything crazy. It's just that little bit of concentration and momentum we talked about ad nauseum. Look at the blocking Thompson is doing right now on Zaculio, though. That's a big block coming along. He said, no, you're not going past me. We're going to move our way forward. You don't think about it. We want to work ahead. Stop trying to make a battle.
Yeah, I understand if, you were multiple seconds behind, or if there was not a whole lot of time left on the clock to make those kind of moves. But right now, you are in striking distance to catch up to your podium finishers right now. And they're setting some decent lap times. Zaculio, in fact, set a personal best. He's still quite a ways off, but he's making slow gains on it. They have 1.7 seconds to make up to Zampieri and Corsi.
I think it's doable to make that time up. I think it's just a big ask to make that time up here at this point. It's doable. It's not impossible. It's just the more the time goes down, the more that challenge mounts here for these drivers back in 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th. It's truly just one of those. At some point, they need to bite the bullet and figure out their best finishing position in the mix of 5. But at some point, that's a big hit there on the bumper of Strasser and Thompson. I don't think they intended to do that, but that bump draft was going whether Strasser wanted to or not. It got him a bit wiggly. That's going to slow them down a bit down the front stretch here. That'll let the gap open up. And, well, Taylor, I think they're going to start fighting amongst themselves before they can try to close up to the top 4.
I have to agree with you. They lost another 0.2 of a second to Connor Corsi right now. So I have to say it's only a matter of time before someone realizes, hey, I need to just focus on myself and start trying to pass as many carts as I can before that checker flag falls. And here comes Thompson realizing that possibly he's going to try to cross over a little bit as he takes the wider arc. Could not make it work for him, as Strasser will hold position for the moment, as there you see the next group behind of Lewis and Lieber.
That next group behind Lewis, Lieber, as you said, coming through and seeing if they can't close the gap in, because if they can close the gap in, you never know. It'd be easy to go from a P9 to a P5 finish for Lieber if he can just get right there, but they've got to keep working on closing that gap. Down the hill this group goes, coming around. Now up the hill they're going to go, and again, you can see the wider you run that, especially with Zaculio taking that little bit of extra space, he's really using all of that runoff down at the bottom of the hill at turn 3. The more you let go, the better of a run up the hill you get. But when you see it kind of doesn't work for him here, defensive in goes Strasser there with Thompson as they go along. Zaculio trying to see if he can pick up the pieces. Strasser and Thompson now swap positions back through, and if they keep battling, Lewis and Lieber can close right up to the back.
Absolutely. That's the one thing you got to keep in mind when you're having these battles is if you're battling for position, right there you saw Thompson thought about putting the nose to the inside of Strasser. Could not make it stick as we saw that, but that was too close for comfort, I would have to say. That could have caused an incident, but as they crest down the hill, watch right here, a little bit too far of an angle as you see Thompson going a little bit wider off. That helps keep your RPMs up. Strasser trying to keep their RPMs up, but when he goes and cuts in that corner, it seems like to just bog it down and almost allows Julio to get around him for position.
Still trying to go through and find that position down the inside. Swapping of positions comes through. Here we go. 2-for-1 special. Nope. Thompson will only lose one position in the mix of that as Strasser comes through. But look at that. Lewis Lieber now closing things up. We're going to continue to watch them battle. 2 minutes plus 2 laps to go here at this point. And again, I say it. I think for Lewis and Lieber, the patience is paying off. And it's not anything at this point to see Lieber start leapfrogging through. Lieber thinking about a run into the final corner down the main straight. Not able to make a pass there, and Lieber slots back into position. Lewis will hold on to P8 here as Julio, Thompson, and Strasser still battling. I really just have a weird gut feeling.
I mean, he could leapfrog multiple positions, and for Aiden Lieber, looking in the championship, he's at P8 right now, and if he's able to irk himself out a couple of good finishing results, I can move him up significantly in the championship, possibly.
I could see that as well, honestly, and that would be a big deal for him as well, because remember, if you can work your way up the championship, that is great. Perez has a great hold on the win right now with 1.6 seconds to the good, but that's not necessarily all that you need to worry about. If you can get further forward, I mean, that is still a good position to find yourself in.
It really is, Brad, and as we still watch this battle for the 4th or 5th position between Strasser, Thompson, Julio, Lewis, and Lieber, these guys are really going to put on a great show here. We have about 3 more laps left to go for our competitors. Let's see who's going to make a move. How about Lieber to the inside of Lewis, showing the nose, drops back in line. Unfortunately, could not pull off that pass.
Not able to yet, but I don't think it's out of the realm of possibilities here. 15 seconds left to go. Do we get a bonus lap on this run as well? Perez just now crossing the line. So yeah, we do get 3 laps to go this time through. Just enough time there that it seems like they're able to pick up a bonus lap. Side-by-side battle here. Lewis Lieber, yet again, they swap positions. And I think finally we're going to start seeing runs come through here at the back of the field. 3 to go. They know it's 3 to go. And so we'll see how this plays through for these 5.
Who's going to be the one who pulls the trigger on this fight amongst these competitors? Who will be that last driver in the top 5? And how about Thompson to the inside of Strasser, and he will push him up the track. And they will go side by side. Oh, right there. You see the mistake there as we go 3 wide down the short chute. 1 driver in the draft. That's Julio. Contact as they go into the barrier. Now both of them are out of contention.
And that is not ideal. And you see already the discussion about what happened there as they both want to try to get their karts going, but no getting the karts going at this point. And you see there just the very clear apologies of, hey, I'm sorry, miscommunication there. The tires hit together, and I don't think those karts are going to get going at this point. So that shifts everything up with 2 laps to go. And look at the results of what that has cost. Julio's up, Simonov is up, Eber is up, Kokachin, Sims, and Barrett can gain some positions there as Strasser and Thompson. A slight moment of miscommunication proves big implications here in the pre-final.
It certainly does, Bradley, and as we watch that, how about Aiden Lieber? He may now have a chance to go for 5th position in this champions. He's only 0.4 of a second behind as we watch on Daniel Perez to come and take the white flag one more time around for him.
And one more time around for Perez of Trusky 2.2 seconds back. Zampiri 4.4 seconds back. And I'm kind of with you on this. Let's see where the gap is between Julio and Lieber. It's right there within a couple of tenths. So I think for Lieber, 5th place is possible. If he could pull a P5, I mean, that would be amazing to see for Lieber as he goes through. Lieber currently sitting 8 in the championship standings, and that would be a huge boost for him going through. It'd be his best finish so far in the championship.
And certainly will be indeed. Of course, with drivers like Thompson, also who's out of this, that will be not a good points day for him. But here comes Daniel Perez, the driver who's been probably one of the most dominant drivers, has looked to win every single final event this season at NOLA, as well as also here at AMP. He sweeps the pre-final. His worst finish, I have to say, was a third as we watch the battle between Lewis and Zaculio. It's going to be a drag race. How about this? Getting on the binders here, and as they work their way across the line, Lieber gets the 5th spot away from Alex Zaculio.
That's a great move from Lieber to pull that 5th place there by just 100th of a second. That's a great move there. And Heber and Simonov, they swap positions as well at the end there. That is a big swing around for a lot of these drivers. I'm excited to see how it goes in the final, because when they hit the final here at 11 a.m., they get an extra 3 minutes of racing. It's 12 minutes for the final, so I'm excited to really see what happens there. And you got to know there's a conversation going between some of these guys about what happened with Strasser and Thompson. Did you see that? What happened? Let's not do that.
Exactly. Let's not do that indeed. But with that, we have a little bit of cleanup going on, so we'll step aside for a quick commercial break. When we come back, it is going to be the IAME Minis pre-final event. Only a couple of more left before we give out the big trophies and the championships here in your KA categories. Next on Kart Chaser.
Are you stuck with your kart racing? Not sure the ideal kart setup? Or going to a track for the first time? Well, Kart Class has the answers for you. Our online portal has a wealth of experience and knowledge to help your kart racing. From kart setup advice to track guides that are targeted specifically to your circuit, or the driver coaching aspects with mindset, racecraft and driving techniques. If you want to take your karting to the next level, visit us at kartclass.com.
Are you looking to take the next step in your racing journey? Well, look no further than PitFit.
With 2 locations in Charlotte, North Carolina and Indianapolis, Indiana, PitFit trains drivers all the way from grassroots level karting to IndyCar and NASCAR, with top-of-the-line personalized coaching to improve physical and cognitive fitness.
For more information on programs, check out PitFit on Instagram or Facebook today.
Cat food marketing. $9.99 a month.
Dude, Caleb, wake up. Dude, we're live in 5 minutes. Let's go. Come on. What are you doing?
Dude, I'm so sorry. Xander had me in a cat food marketing meeting till like 2 a.m. last night.
Come on, man.
Do you have anything I can drink?
Dude, I got the perfect thing for you. Perico. It's a healthy energy drink alternative.
Perico, non-GMO, gluten-free, kosher, magnesium, B12, B6,
yeah, it's good.
B5, biotin, and 0 sugar? Pericazo! Try Perico, made with natural ingredients, organic caffeine, and supports your metabolism. Try the new official energy drink of Kart Chaser.
Paulie Massimino wins the Wisconsin Grand Prix. James Overbeck on start number 2 gets win number 1 in OKN Stars.
On track or off, Brandon Jarsekrak Racing delivers elite performance. Led by 4-time Pro National Champion Brandon Jarsekrak, our team masters driver coaching, data-driven analysis, and mechanical precision at every national event. Contact us today at Brandon Jarsekrak Racing.
Welcome back to Kart Chaser's coverage of the Apex Karting Championship. It is time for your Minis pre-final event, and here is your starting lineup. Bo Stowers will be on the front row along with Ruben Greer, your 2 championship rivals for the Minis, with Andrew Anastasio and Bo Laser. Nazar Martinenko will be in 5th with Liam 4, and Blake Martinez, your 7 kart field in your mini or your micro division. or your mini division. My apologies. But taking a look at the championship after you go ahead.
I was gonna say, yeah, no, this is minis, not micros.
Yes, this is the category, and of course, after yesterday's excitement, it is still Ruben Greer who holds a right now a 1-point advantage still. After the points were tallied up, though, currently it shows Bo Stowers. This is not counting the drop week, of course. Bo Stowers has a 9-point advantage over Ruben Greer, but we'll have to wait and see how this all plays out after the pre-finals and finals event. So this is going to be a fun championship to watch amongst these two. Andrew Anastasio, unless he is able to win the pre-final, I think it's safe to say he is mathematically out of the championship unless something happens to Ruben Greer and Bo Stowers in this pre-final event.
I would agree with that. It's unfortunate to see, but you never know how it'll go. Into the tram lines they go here, Taylor. They're getting ready for some partying. We had some great racing out of this mini category yesterday. Let's see what they do today.
Green flag is out, and away they go. They're already going to go 3 wide as they head into turn number 1 and try to work their way through. And Bo Stowers and Ruben Greer, who will end up on top, give it right now to the 121 machine of Bo Stowers, who has stretched out to a significant margin over Ruben Greer as Andrew Anastasio is hot on his heels, looking to try and take second away.
Liam 4 able to gain a position there in all of that jockeying. Look at this, second, third, fourth, fifth. They're all together, 2x2, going into the double left-hander here in the mini as they go through. And, well, let's see how this swings along, how they work. And I tell you what, that's some great fighting there from that mid-pack, but they need to work on catching up to Bo Stowers here very quickly early on if they can as they go through and continue single file down the backstretch, down into the final corner. Bo Stowers, if he's looking behind him at all, he's thinking, all right, guys, y'all just keep that battling along.
Keep that going, and I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing here as they cross the line. Anastasio, of course, taking second. Ruben Greer, tough break, already down in 4th position. He's got to find his way to make up that time and get at least back into 2nd place. But Anastasio ready to try and take the fight here as he looks to try and hunt down Bo Stowers.
Trying to hunt him down here, trying to do everything he can to make it through. And, well, here we go, passing on the double left-hander we go. Is there a pass to be made? Certainly looks like it as they come through down the inside. Inside turns to outside, outside turns to inside. We get a little bit of a switchback swap. A Ruski there, and you see the signal, hey, no, don't pass me. Let's go catch Bo Stowers. And the answer to that is, okay, let's go.
So now the question is going to be, does Anastasio and 4 work together, or do they try and cause a little chaos amongst themselves here as they come across the line? The gap is 2 seconds between Anastasio and Bo Stowers. Do the rest of the field work together as Martinenko and Blake Martinez and Bo Laser fight for the 5th position?
That fight for 5th position is going to get very, very interesting here. Through the fight for 2nd position is going to get very close and quick as well. Look at that, the 43 of Anastasio leading here at the moment as they go. And I'm just waiting to see when the passes come. Here it goes again, down the inside into the double left-hander at the bottom of the track. And, well, pass not able to be made. It was looked for, but it wasn't able to be made. And this is the thing with the minis is if you feel like you're the faster kart, go for the pass. They don't tend to think of the long-term strategy of sitting behind and running forward. They think, I'm the faster kart, I go through. And, oh, that's a slight wiggle there from Liam 4, who's running P3 right now.
Bo Stowers continues to set the pace here with 6 minutes to go, and everyone's really been improving on these opening laps, but the problem is they're running out of time here to really make the charge. So now for Ruben Greer, he needs to try and find his way back up at least into 2nd to kind of mitigate the bleeding effect in a set way to prevent losing more points in this championship as they crest down the hill. 4 and Anastasio, though, are breaking away from Ruben Greer as here comes 4 to the inside, looking to take 2nd away.
Trying to take that 2nd place away, doing everything he can to do just that here. And there we see the 143 still defending through, and 4 not able to move that 4 up out of P3 at the moment. He's right on the back bumper. I would argue he is very much the faster kart. Him and Anastasio ran identical lap times last lap, but you can see just how he's closing in on the bumper time and time again here. As they cross the line, they go through. The thing that I don't know that they're watching is that gap to P1. It's over 3 seconds now. And again, it's one of those, they need to strategize a little bit and work together to run through. And again, one of the other things I'm noting here in Mini is they're really using the bottom of the hill now. A lot of these karts in Mini are keeping a tighter line and trying to mind the curb a little bit there. They've been more willing to just let the karts ride wide out of the bottom of turn 3.
And here comes Ford, tucks back in line, and with those two battling, that helps bring Ruben Greer back into the fight for second place at this moment. And as a matter of fact, Bo Laser not too far either behind these three competitors, so Laser could possibly find his way up for a running order on the podium as he tries to find his way around and catch up. Here comes Liam Ford, looking, thinks better of it. He will now tuck back in line. He knows he's still got time to play with if he wants to. If I was Liam Ford now, can't catch Stowers, try to pull away with Anastasio to just focus on making it a 2-horse race.
Focus on that 2-horse race, keep things going along, and that's going to be the big key for them. Look at the run that Ford gets there out of the bottom of the hill as he comes up towards the clubhouse here, and he's closing in quite a bit going through down the hill we go, and we'll see if he's able to capitalize. He's going to look to the inside there. There's nothing Anastasio can do. Ford has such a good run here, but can he switch back out of the double left-handers here? And we'll see one side through. Now he's going to send it to the inside. Ford has to run a little wide. He holds on, though. He parks the bus. And Taylor, I tell you what, that is textbook how to do it. And, well, you see the hand signals there. I don't think anyone's happy with each other there. And now the goal is in 3.5 minutes plus 2 laps to chase down 3 seconds to Stowers.
Yeah, he's going to have to try to work harder because now here comes Ruben Greer now onto the back bumper of Anastasio as they come across the line. And let's see, the gap now is 4.5 seconds. So, yeah, this is basically a fight for second unless something happens to Bo Stowers here. As you see Greer put the bumper to Anastasio as they will race each other up to the top of the hill. That gives Anastasio the inside lane advantage, but Greer has the pace to make it work as they come up to the top and race down to the double left.
Down the double left. That gap to Stowers does look like it's maintained so far. I don't think it's closed. I don't think it's opened as it goes through, but I'm really trying to see more of where that's going to go along in the long run. We'll see where they move things through here. We go along down the back stretch here. I feel like those two battling so much, Ford and Anastasio, yes, it's put 4 in P2, but it's given Stowers such a good gap at this point that even I think if they get the run and they close the gap, I don't know that it's going to make any difference, and they can't. The gap's opened up by 0.3 of a second. It's probably going to be like half a second. Now the problem is Anastasio's behind. He has the draft here, and he's going to be closing up to 4. Look at that.
Gets a great run at the top of the hill, and he has now set his sights on holding position here. And for Ruben Greer, he seems to be now that third wheel, and unfortunately that's going to cost him because if he can't keep up with that draft, he's going to lose more and more time and not be able to gain the position he needs in order to fight for this championship. They come through the double left, and you saw Anastasio try to make it work, and that's what he needs to see. Ruben Greer now looks to the inside. He'll take the third spot away from Anastasio.
Taking that third spot away. That's a great move there from him. And we'll see for Anastasio, is there a swap back? There is. Look at this down the inside in the final corner. Send it through, run it wide, and then switch back around. Side by side, they'll come across the line. And at this point, it is going to go towards the way of Anastasio over Greer. And I believe that is how they shuffle things up as they go. That 143 of Anastasio got past back. And that's great moves there. But now that's going to let 4 get a little bit of breathing room here. 60 seconds to go.
Possibly looking at 3 laps left to go here in the race. As for Liam Ford, has moved up to second, looking to try and get one of his best finishes of the season, or at least tie his best finish of the season, which was a second in the pre-final event out in NOLA. So this is a good run for Liam Ford as he looks to try and do that again, as they work their way down over to the top of the hill and head to the final hairpin to complete this lap with 3 to go. Liam Ford currently sits 5th in the championship, looking to try and leapfrog Nazar Marinenko, who sits not too far, 3 points ahead.
Going to be interesting to see the championship implications for these drivers as they go along, and I do think that for Liam Ford, this is exactly what he needs in order to gain that championship time. So he's in a great position at the moment to move through. Again, I think what's really interesting at this point for them is setting up for the finals and getting an idea of in the finals where they will be able to go and can they take on Stowers early on, because if they can take on Stowers early on in the run, that's going to make a big advantage for them to really move through. So we'll see if they're able to do just that when they get along.
Coming across the line here, and it should be 2 laps to go for Bo Stowers. The gap now over 6 seconds between himself, Liam Ford, and Anastasio. Ruben Greer has fallen over 1.5 seconds behind these two, as here comes Anastasio to the inside of Liam. Liam going to try and cross over, though, and it's a drag race up to the top of the hill.
Drag race to the top of the hill, swap along here, but no position to be found here for Greer, or for Ford right on the back of Anastasio here. It'll try to be the run back and long. Here we go as they go through, and nothing into the double left either. Just relaxing for a moment, giving it a second to breathe here, and it'll be the next lap that they go for the pass here. Ford, though, you can see looking a little bit quick here going out of the back stretch. Was kind of peeking through. Is it a move into the final corner? This would be a good move, and no, there's defense there from Anastasio as they go down through, coming into the last lap.
White flag one more time around. Anastasio holds on to second. This is going to be a big points day for him, for at least maybe going towards a chance of a top 3 finish in the championship. But Bo Stowers doing what he needs to do. He currently, as points stand, is a point behind Ruben Greer. After yesterday's pre-final events or heat races, he currently then proceeded to have a 9-point advantage in his favor. This could help him significantly take over the championship lead, and already you see the battling for second between Anastasio and Ford as those two swap paint, trying to get around each other. Ruben Greer looking to find his way as Ford tries to find his opening around the outside.
Trying to find that opening around the outside. Side by side they go here, and this is going to be one of those moments, Taylor, where I think it's anyone's run. Stowers crosses the line to get the win, but who's got second?
As they cross the line, give it to Andrew Anastasio over Liam Ford. Greer will come home in 4th position. Not a good point situation at all for him. That's only going to give him about 85 points for this pre-final event compared to the driver of Bo Stowers, who will receive 100 points for this pre-final win. There's your finishing results here as we get set for our final pre-final event of the morning. Before we give out the big wins, the big trophies, and the championships will be crowned as the KA Juniors are next on the pre-finals. You'll see all that action as there you see the good camaraderie between the two young superstars of Ford and Anastasio. And there could be your soon-to-be champion, part of the Nitro group, none other than Bo Stowers. It's time for your KA juniors who are heading out onto the track as Callan Berghofer and Oliver Nybert will lead us to the green flag. Bowen Green, Kai Mars, Harrison Burklow, Roland Smith, Cameron Johnson, Daniel Drakenov, Jesse Frazier, Jet Price, your top 10, Isaac Carvalho, Grammy Esselix, Sean Portnov, Arthur Napinyan, followed by Jordan Lapin, Riley Dobalart, Dean Saunders, and Juju Sivakumar in your KA junior category. And currently right now, after yesterday, still championship in favor of Cameron Johnson. As we saw, of course, Oliver Nybert closing in. He is just about 30 points behind, so a lot can happen depending on the situation. We get the green flag, and away we go. And already you see Nybert challenging Cameron Johnson and company, working their way around as Nybert will get the race lead over Berghofer, who is having a great run yesterday, winning multiple heat races in the action. Looks to try to put a perfect weekend together in his Field now works their way through as the drivers try to work on the situation nose to tail as we see these drivers cresting over the hill. Berghofer and Nybert realizing they can try to pull away from the competition as Green, Mars, and Burklow, two of the comp carts, try and chase down your top two. Cameron Johnson has quite a bit of work to do after starting inside the top 10. He's got to find that pace to go further up the running order to make sure he can prevent anyone from changing out the outcome. And he's doing so as he has moved up to third, 4 spots in 1 lap. Incredible drive by Cameron Johnson, and he's looking for more.
Very good run early on from our KA out and going. Single follow through as they go down the hill, and they continue their move through. Let's see if there's a pass for the lead here early on, because I think that'll make a big implication. Nothing in the double left-hander there for the leaders. Bit further back in the field, outside of the top 10, though. They're going for some good passes here.
Absolutely, they are going for some great runs here as the field works their way around the circuit. Berghofer holding strong with Nybert as they cross the line, and Cameron Johnson looking to get those little bit of extra positioning to secure his chance of a championship in the KA Juniors. Across the line, he sets fastest lap of the race. He's got help from Bowen Green and Kai Mars as he looks to get second away. He'll move Nybert up the track, takes the spot, and now has to focus on Callan Berghofer.
Nybert there being very nice. In the run. And of course, remember for Nybert, he's fighting Johnson for the championship right now with Portnov being in third. Here we go, moves through around. That's a 3-for-1 special. That's how you drop from first to fourth in the matter of a corner. That is not going to be ideal for Berghofer.
Oh, one cart in the grass.
One cart off.
Who is that driver? It's one of the comp carts, I think. We'll have to wait and see from the running order, but that was one of your top 10 competitors. Could not catch the number as he comes across the line, though. It will be Cameron Johnson, and I have to say it's Bowen Green who is out of the race, who had such a strong run yesterday in the KA category as they come up to the hill, and that will move Kai Mars into 4th, Burklow into the top 5 once again.
Drop that far down the border, have that run, and he is well and done, out and over for the day. So now it's a battle in front. Johnson and Nybert, they will keep this battle going for the lead. Let's see where they come through, and I'm interested to see what Berghofer does in third. It can close up a bit for the lead. I would be very surprised if he doesn't at this point and really make a challenge. Really, in KA Junior, I'd be shocked if we don't have a 5-cart challenge for the lead here at some point. Dive down for P4, speaking of which. That's Burklow trying to go up the inside with Mars, and Price wants to follow along as well.
He almost had the chance to do so, but they quickly came upon turn number 1, so they have to try something, and Burklow is going to now have to deal with the pressure from Price, who wants to see the pass complete. As you saw right there, Burklow almost going into the grass a little bit, has to try to be careful as they know go side by side behind him. One driver, the 9813 machine of Roland Smith, dropping back a couple of spots. Battle for the race lead 2 also going on as Nyberg and Berghofer try to work together to get around Cameron Johnson as we watch the battle for 6 with Price, Eslick, and company heading down to the hairpin.
Coming down to the hairpin here, all of these battles still very much sitting alive, but it's just a matter of when do you make a move. Here we go. Watch that inside corner. That was almost a corner cut there coming through for Berghofer on the inside, trying to make that pass along, and you gotta watch that through. Berghofer, fastest kart on track, but if you're not careful, race control can come back in after the fact and summon you to the steward's office here at the top of the hill and say, hey, what are you doing? You never know, that can happen on championships that we wouldn't expect here going into the double left-hander. 4 minutes left to go. It's hard to believe 4 minutes left to go, and this is a pre-final. That was a bit of a give of a bump there from Berghofer to Johnson. I thought that was going to cause a big moment there for those two, but they're able to hold on.
Yeah, yesterday in the second heat race for the drivers of Cameron Johnson and Graham Eslick, they both received penalties, not for cutting the course, but for incident responsibility. Looking to check to see how the juniors in heat race number 1, if anyone was caught cutting the course. No, everyone behaved themselves in heat race number 1. So a couple of penalties throughout the weekend so far, but so far nothing for cutting the course as we watch Berghofer now trying to find his way back up into second place, as he will now get around Nyberg once again. Actually, that's Cameron Johnson. My apologies on that.
As he gets around, this is going to be one of those moments to watch. 3 minutes to go. There's still plenty of time, but these guys are racing like it's the last lap every lap. And this is so fun. Is, again, they strike that great balance between great racecraft, knowing when to have patience, and also that little bit of a I'm the fastest kart, I want to be in front runs, and it produces some absolute barn-burning racing. Looking over the shoulder, here we go, side by side. Is this a switch back into the final corner? Yes, it is, but it's parked the bus into the final corner, and that's how you prevent getting past. You just park the bus a little bit there, force Johnson to check up, and Berghofer did everything right in that time along, and now he holds on to the lead here with 2.5 minutes to go.
He's got a lot of work to do, though, because here comes the driver of Kai Mars with a head of steam. He wants to try and challenge to move up in the running order for this championship as well. In your K8 juniors, Kai Mars he sits P8 in the championship, so he could try to battle it out with Bowen Green, maybe Juju Subakuma as well, with how his pace has been this season, with only 2 races being counted towards the championship. If you choose to, you can drop 1 race. As the drivers work their way through, Cameron Johnson gets a big run out of the back straightaway, heading into the hairpin. Does he try to park it and find his way around the inside? Not yet. And then behind them in the 6th position, Eslick and Carvalho battle it out for spots.
Yeah, interesting to see here the Berklow-Eslick Carvalho battle continue through. 1:45 left to go. At this point, you really are starting to strike the balance in your head of, well, I still have 12 minutes plus 2 laps to go after this. So do I need to be a little patient now and try to make up something in the final with a good point to paint, or am I worried about the pre-final wins here and possibly making myself have a problem later? Again, I remind everyone here, Taylor, that this is the same set of tires they ran both heats on yesterday, and they ran qualifying on yesterday. And it's the same set of tires that they'll run the final on later. So you gotta remember that a little bit. And remember, these are drivers. These are physical human beings that have to save a little bit of themselves to get through to the end here, which is one of those things that, again, it's very hard to learn that trait. 54 seconds to go here as they cross the line. Still 1, 2, 3. Eslick and Berklow have swapped positions back 5th, 6th, but top 3, they're holding steady, and I still wouldn't count out Mars in 4th either. Kai Mars is right there.
Yeah, Kai Mars has been slowly picking away. I would consider him to be the driver in the catbird seat in case these 3 start battling. That will allow Kai Mars to close in on this fight and maybe have a shot to sneak away with a podium finish in this pre-final. So far, everyone's in lockstep, just hitting the marks, going through the motions here of this race, knowing that there's still about 3 laps left to go.
3 laps left to go here, 2 to go when they cross the line. I'm just taking a look now and really trying to just see at this point who the fastest kart is in this queue of 3 karts. Cameron Johnson set his best lap last lap, and as they cross the line, I mean, they're all identical in times, as you would expect with them being bumper to bumper to bumper. going through the queue here. Kai Marr is a little bit off the pace that time, actually about 0.6 off the pace that time through, and you can see that's where his gap has opened up to 1.6 seconds where it's at as they come through past the clubhouse. Down the hill they go, these top three still holding through. They've opened a little bit, and something happened to Roland Smith that last lap, because the 8:13 has fallen all the way down to next to last in the order. Unfortunately for him, that will be his pre-final done, and he'll have to sit back and watch and see who wins this top three battle.
As we watch the battle for the top three, that's the second DNF of this race so far. As we watch Callan Berghofer and Cameron Johnson, who will pull the trigger to find their way back up towards the front of the field. 2 laps to go for your drivers. Johnson looking over the shoulder, Berghofer looking over the shoulder. Nybert thinks about it, seeing who he decides to go with to push their way up to the front of the field.
And up the hill, this is the closest they've been at the top of the hill this entire race as they go through. Now they run down towards the chicane, and you can see that, again, that gap is the closest it's been. There's a run for Johnson, but Johnson doesn't take the run to go for a pass. You see he actually gives the bump to Berghofer. It doesn't give him anything, but he wanted to try to, I think, break away a little bit from Nybert before they started battling, and that doesn't pay off, but it goes to show that there is pace there for Johnson as they come through down into the final corner. Is it a dive to the inside for anyone? Nope. And here we go, coming through, white flag, 1 lap to go.
And now, who will make the brave, heroic decision in this pre-final event, or will everyone just stay in lockstep knowing we still have a feature race to go as Johnson looks to try to find his opening? Nybert just being patiently waiting in the wings in case someone decides to pull the trigger and move on. And as they come out of turn 4 and 5, heading down towards this double left, so far, everyone's now got a little bit of separation, and you see Berghofer going on the defensive as Johnson thinks about going around the outside. And here comes Nybert showing the nose.
And that was Nybert looking to go to the inside there, but Berghofer parked the bus. Johnson to the outside. Nybert looking down at the engine there. Hopefully everything's okay as they come up the hill. Coming to the final corners at the last corner pass here for Johnson. He's looking for it. He's looking for it. It's defense to the inside. Look at this. It'll be a drag race at the line.
It's going to be nose to tail, but given to Callan Berghofer, who sweeps 3 for 3 so far out of the races he started this weekend. Drag race a little further back for 5th as Esslix gets the spot ahead of Berklow as the rest of the field crosses the line. And with that, I have to say one thing. We're now done with our pre-final events for the morning session. Next up, it is the KA Masters main event. And time to crown champions and who will be the winners of the first time of the Apex Karting Championship here at AMP. There you see some of your winners now making their way through as the BJR machine of Callan Berghofer looks to try and to showcase a dominant weekend here today. With that, while the drivers go through the tech line, we'll step aside, take a quick commercial break. The first main event kicks off at 10:32 a.m. We'll be back here briefly after some words from our partners. Champions aren't just born on the kart track. At SimShop, we deliver professional-grade simulators with the best performance-to-price ratio in the industry. Founded by racers who understand what you need, our SimMagic and Moza equipment is powerful enough for the pros, yet affordable for everyone. With unmatched customer support and a thriving community, we're your racing partner. Visit simshop.com today.
Hey guys, I'm Chris G. I'm Kart Chaser's driver fitness coach, and today I'm going to give you 3 tips on how to strengthen your shoulders for more endurance and better stability in the kart. Here we go. Okay, so exercise number 1 is the front rope pull-through cable raises. Okay, now this is the upright cable row. What you are doing here is you're picking a straight bar, as you see, and we're working the side areas of our shoulders, the medial. Exercise number 3, the dumbbell shrugs. As you guys can tell, I like to pause at the top before releasing. It's great for your strength, for that wheel stability. It's great for those shoulders and that upper back area. Chris G coaching, race-ready training that carries into real life. That's what we do here. See you on the next one.
Kyle, what are you doing?
It's got my new Greyhound seat.
You don't even have a cart.
Doesn't matter. I have a Greyhound.
Who the f is Kyle Cuthbertson? Doesn't even have a go-kart.
Doesn't matter.
Cuthbertson through on Turney. Turney in the dirt.
Karting isn't just speed. It's control, precision, freedom. At Atlanta Motorsports Park, Kart Freedom isn't just a team. It's where drivers are made.
You know, I'm really starting to like this go-karting thing.
Yeah, me too. Oh my gosh, can I show you this cute dress I just got?
Yes, of course. Oh my goodness, it's so cute.
I just love shopping.
I love shopping too.
Oh my god.
Wait, did you guys say you like shopping?
Of course.
Dude, I have the perfect place to do that at. ShopBigAir.com. At ShopBigAir.com, you can get free shipping on orders $200 or more. You can get anything you want, like MXC rims, gloves, rib vests, shoes, anything that you need, all at ShopBigAir.com.
Who is he talking to?
No idea.
But we're gonna have to check it out. Sounds like a great deal.
Sure does.
Cat food marketing. $9.99 a month.
Dude, Caleb, wake up. Dude, we're live in 5 minutes. Let's go, come on. What are you doing?
Dude, I'm so sorry. Xander had me in a cat food marketing meeting till like 2 a.m. last night.
Come on, man.
Do you have anything I can drink?
Dude, I got the perfect thing for you. Perico, it's a healthy energy drink alternative.
Perico, non-GMO, gluten-free, kosher, magnesium, B12, B6,
Yeah, it's good.
B5, biotin, and zero sugar? Pericazo! Try Perico, made with natural ingredients, organic caffeine, and supports your metabolism. Try the new official energy drink of Kart Chaser.
Let's go race.
Come on, man.
This is Henry. Henry feels sad. Henry feels sad because it's time for his next big race and his go-kart is in bits. Henry doesn't know that Acceleration Kart Racing is the United States' #1 shop for all of your karting equipment needs. Henry also doesn't know that Acceleration Kart Racing can deliver anything from tires to race suits and even wheels directly to your front door or to the racetrack itself quickly and efficiently, with tech support available 6 days a week. Poor Henry doesn't even know that Acceleration Kart Racing offers free shipping to mainland USA on selected product if you spend $200 or more. Do yourself a favor. Go to accelerationkarting.com and make sure that you are never left stuck on the pre-grid with Henry. Be smart and don't be like Henry.
Welcome to the future of kart race preparation, Kart Sim Pro North America. Featuring laser-scanned North American kart circuits and precision-tuned kart physics developed using real telemetry, dyno and tyre data, Kart Sim Pro North America delivers the most advanced and realistic kart simulation experience available today. Whether you're training for race day, refining your lines, or shaving tenths off your personal best, Kart Sim Pro gives you pro-level insight without leaving your home. Trusted by world champions, coaches, and karting enthusiasts alike, this is where virtual practice translates into real-world performance. Experience the thrill, the challenge, and the edge. Kart Sim Pro North America. Use code CHASER20 to get 20% off today.
Hi, I'm Jackson.
It's time to give out the big trophies for 12 minutes of actions here for your KA Masters. It's Panenko, King, and Estes who will lead us to the green flag. Bradley, it's going to be an exciting one to see who will end up on the top step of the podium for the winners. We already know Estes is going to be your champion in the KA Masters. It's just a matter of seeing who will be the winner for the final race of the South Division for the Apex Karting Championship this season.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun one to watch. I don't think that it's necessarily guaranteed that Estes gets the win either. Of course, he pulled off in the pre-final. We did find out there was no mechanical issues, no damage. It was genuinely just to save equipment and make sure that in this final he would be able to get all the way to the end without issue here. As we are green, we are going. And you can see Estes already moving up into second. Panenko trying to get a bit of a run here. And Eric Kane sitting right behind each other.
Great jump through the field here as your top three have started their opening lap around the circuit. Big run coming from Estes as they head down into the double left, as Panenko will hold strong in that number one position in the 474 as they snake their way out of the S's and head down the back straight. Little adjustment to the carburetor as they lead off into the hairpin.
Heading off into the hairpin here, you can see that gap sitting fairly consistent at the moment, and I'm curious to see at what point does Estes decide to go for a move here, because there's plenty of racing left. He can go for a move early and put himself under pressure to be fought back on. He could go for a move a bit later and try to save himself a little bit of a run here and just sit behind for now, let Panenko kind of burn up his equipment and burn up his tires. You see him look over the right shoulder going up the hill. He knew he didn't get a good run up the hill. And for Panenko, I think that 23 run has really been kind of his weak point of the lap time and time again. It's been that run up the hill as they go through and around down to the double left-handers.
Drivers now trying to negotiate around the circuit here and hit their marks as Estes puts a little pressure on Panenko as they head down the back straightaway. It's just a matter of what Estes decides to do. Does he want it? Of course, we know he wants to go for the win, because what a better way to wrap up a championship than collecting the final win of the season. But also, you're wrapped up the championship. There's no pressure from anyone. Take care of your equipment. Don't make brave and heroic decisions right now. That is not the time for that.
I mean, don't make brave and heroic decisions, but you know they're drivers. What are they going to do? They're going to make brave and heroic decisions. They're going to do something crazy somewhere, somehow, because that's just the nature of being a go-kart driver. You got to have a bit of fun every once in a while. As we go through and along again, you still see Estes sitting behind Panenko. I feel like the Jaws theme is just lightly playing in Panenko's ear right now as Estes is closing that gap a bit more down the run to the double left-hander, and you can just hear it a bit more. Dun-na. Donna, Donna, however that goes at that point. So yeah, I think it's closing up. It's coming. The pass will be when, not if.
I have to agree with you on that as well. Left for our competitors as they work their way around the circuit, and so far Panenko holding strong over his leader rival for this race of Estes. Currently, both of them running similar lap times. Last time by Panenko, a 39.4 to a 39.6 to the driver of Estes. So it's just a matter of time to see how this all plays out.
It really is, and I think it's... Again, I think it's a matter of when, not if, going through as everyone holds on. And I think for Estes, he knows he's got the championship wrapped, right? Like, there's nothing really for him to worry about at this point. It's really about having the fun and enjoying running out with a competitor that is giving you a challenge. It's really, just enjoying that run through and getting that time on track and that experience. I'm interested to know, though, I'd have to ask Brant Estes, is he going to come back for the Midwest run whenever we start that out in May, June, and August? Is he going to be coming back for that second set of the championship? And if so, who else is going to be there? Will we see Estes and Panenko battling it through? Will we see more karts join in here into this 4-kart entry run, deciding to get more karts in the Master Series? Shoot, I might have to go race myself. And, well, Taylor, we might have to have you come race as well. Let's see if we can't just throw some challenges out there for fun.
I mean, somebody's got to go out there and put a stop to the domination that Estes has had all season long. I mean, he has got to work his way through, and It's incredible racing that he's been able to put on, the numbers this season. I'm excited to see what he can do for the rest of his season as well as the drivers work their way towards the back half of the circuit into the hairpin. Estes just taking care of his equipment, not really worried about making a mistake here, as he knows there's plenty of time still to come.
Plenty of time to go through. And again, you see the run down the hill here. I think what's been interesting for me looking at Panenko is that he's 1 millisecond faster than Brant Estes the last lap around. 1 millisecond is not a lot, of course, 1/1000th of a second, but in the karting world, that is still a gap that you can pull. That is still some time to be found. So we'll see where it continues along for the run here, as Panenko still has to make it another under 7 minutes to go. And that is, again, the thing to remember is that it's not necessarily for these drivers, it's about, getting through and having a battle. It's they have to survive the entire main event. They have to get all the way to the end of this main event with another 6.5 minutes plus 2 laps. We cross the line here. Let's see where that gap sets at. It was 0.292 last time around. It's 0.176. It's closed a little bit, and Brant Estes was the fastest part on track. Set the fastest lap of anyone by 0.5 tenth last time.
Yeah, if you think about this, we're pretty much doubling the amount of laps that we're running from when they started their first heat race of the morning yesterday to the finals that are going on right now. So it's a lot more emphasis on how much wear and tear you have to put on these karts, how much you're going to push your kart, as well as push yourself. I mean, being out there, there's been some times, whether it be a rental kart or other vehicles, where you're running for 30 or 40 minutes out there. It can still take a toll on you. So imagine, doing this at this high competitive level that we see here to keep focus and just make sure you continue to log consistent lap times out there on the circuit.
Yeah, that consistency can be the big key for these drivers, and it's very, very interesting to see here as we go through. Panenko sets the fastest lap he's ran the whole time, and Estes right there, very close to his best time. That gap is still holding consistent through, and Eric King is setting very good lap times as well. He's setting set all day around. Of course, he's 5 seconds back, but he is still learning. He's improving. He's keeping pace. So for Eric King, he is doing everything he needs to do right now here. And again, I see those GoPros right for the Masters. You know that there's some great footage coming out of that here of this battle. And, well, you never know. There might be a clip and somehow they will show us exactly what they're thinking going through. That's some of the best footage you can find on YouTube is drivers in karts with GoPros talking about their thoughts, their processes, kind of giving you that the director's cut of a race and saying, you know what, this is what I was thinking in the moment. This is what I wanted to do. Looking back, this is what I could have done. Those director cut edits of go-kart races are so much fun to watch.
Absolutely, and just learning what those drivers are trying to do, for trying to pick up, and that's I'm pretty sure for drivers like this going on as they work their way around the circuit here, it's just finding that little extra. And I'm pretty sure yesterday they went back on their own, kind of gave their own personal commentary of what they need to do, how to improve upon certain aspects. And that's what every driver does at the end of the day with their driver coach or with their parents if they're the younger kids as well. So it's just a matter of just learning and adapting and getting better for the next race.
Going into the final corner here, Estes again just sticking right to the back of Panenko. He's not forcing any moves. He's not doing anything crazy. The pace is very similar. There's not a significant pace overlap like what we saw in Junior or in Mini in their pre-finals, where we saw karts who had the pace to be the fastest kart in a group, but they just weren't able to clear passes. This is genuinely a case of, well, they are holding pace and they are very similar in pace, holding in position, but to be honest with you, I can't tell if it's a case that they're similar in pace because that's just they're running similar in pace, or if they're similar in pace because one of them is holding back a little bit or pushing a bit more. It seems like right now this is genuinely just a good Sunday morning run here, Sunday morning stroll. I don't think either of them are giving it 210% yet. 3 minutes to go. I think right now Panenko may be giving a bit more than Estes. Estes, though, definitely not forcing the issue at the moment as he comes through. I think if he sees a gap, he'll go for it. But as of right now, he's just sitting in the tracks. He's just waiting. He's just going. He's doing exactly what he needs to do.
There's nothing wrong with that either, because he's just hitting his marks, taking care of his equipment. There's still quite a bit of time left, and like we said, he's already set on winning the championship. So even if that means he doesn't get the win, it still means he gets the big prize, which is that championship.
And that championship all important, because what does that championship get you? Well, it locks you in to run in the final way down the year in October. So when you get set up for that, I mean, that's a great run to go through, because you can run into finals, which is at Trackhouse Motorplex, October 23rd to 25th. Weird to think that we're in March and you're locking in a position for October, but hey, that is what happens with this championship. If you can lock yourself in for October, you can spend the rest of the year preparing, conditioning, getting your equipment ready, finding new things, and well, you already know where the run's going to be in 2026, so you can start practicing for Trackhouse a little bit, use some kart sim, and get ready for it.
I mean, yeah, especially with the special discounts that you get with 20% off by using our promo code as well. So might be a time, especially given the fact that Trackhouse Motorplex is part of that package.
Yeah, Trackhouse is a fun track, honestly. It's one that I would say, if you can get some experience there ahead of time, very much worth it. So we'll see how this goes through. We'll see what Estes' plan is as he goes along. He's still sticking to the back here, Panenko. 1:10 left to go. He looks like he might try to make the move here in the next 3 or 4 laps. They're going to cross the line with exactly a minute to go. Their lap times are running 54 seconds. We might end up with a bonus lap here.
Possibility, I have to say for sure on that matter. It's looking like to be the case as we watch our competitors work their way around the circuit. Not much time left on the clock, but I gotta say, it's going to be probably looking at 3 laps to go, and that gives Estes that little extra if he wants to try and challenge for the race lead.
I feel like both of them are going to be looking and saying, man, come on, 2 to go, where's the signal? Because they both know at this point, sitting with each other, that is when the gloves come off. That's when the fight truly starts. That 2 to go signal, that is when they're gonna really give it the run. So let's see as they go through in the final corner. 15 seconds to go. They will get a 3 to go signal here. So they cross the line with 5 seconds to go. What do you know? It's almost like a 54.5-second lap results in that run here. So 3 laps to go. Time has now expired here. Let's see. Estes guaranteed to have the championship at the end of this one. At this point, it really is just a matter of pride between Estes and Panenko, who finishes where for what as they go along.
This season, we've had a total of 3 different winners. We had Shane Burkett winning at NOLA, Estes winning at Jacksonville. Who will win here in Dawsonville, Georgia? Will it be a back-to-back win for Brant Estes, or will we see the newcomer of Panenko coming to the top step of the podium here today, where it all counts, as he looks to try and hold on to the race lead? But Estes gonna give it everything he's got. He's got 2 laps to try and make it work for him as they head down the front straightaway. 2 laps to go.
Estes said, I'm pulling the clean sweep here if I can help it. The more wins I can get, the better. The only final he didn't win was round 1. So if he can find a win here, that would be 2. He had a clean sweep round 2. And well, we'll see if he can get a 1-2-3-1 on the board for this weekend. He looked good out of the final corner, and you saw Panenko look over the left shoulder. I think he wasn't expecting the right. There's the defense to the inside. Now we get some good wheel-to-wheel coming through. Switch back along down the inside. They rip each other. No, they both come together.
Oh my goodness, this could open the door for the driver of Eric King, who snakes his way through, and he might have a chance to pull away, but he's got to be quick to do so as he runs away. Unexpected situation here in your KA Masters, as Eric King is your new race leader as we watch on. Now let's see what the gap is as they come to take the white flag.
Coming across for the white flag, King here, his laps have been around half a second slower than what Panenko and Estes have been running, but he now comes across the line. He slowed up considerably to snake his way through that run. Estes does get out ahead. Panenko is still trying to get back going, I believe, but Eric King, look at this. The cap 7.3 seconds. That Sodi driver is going to be feeling good here coming across. He's got half a lap just to hold on. He looks over the shoulder, and Well, have you ever?
I mean, I have never seen that happen before. I'm thinking, oh, if those two got together, Estes and Panenko can just get back going. No, it is not going to happen. Give it up to Eric King. There you see Estes. He is not going to be able to make it work. From last to first here on the final lap for Eric King to pull it off. An upset win, a great drive. He was working consistently, and he does it. He collects his first win in the Apex Karting Championship. Brant Estes, it sucked to not unfortunately win the race, but he does claim the 2026 IAME KA Masters Championship. Bradley, have you ever... That's got to go in the highlight reels for this championship this season.
No, I've never. Estes and Panenko, the goal at that point was for them to just run cleanly with each other. And Eric King showing that consistency is key, and you see Estes pull in. He is not happy about how that ended up. I'd have to go back and watch the replays of how that happened. But you see there the congratulations to Eric King. I think even he's going, wait a minute. Did I really just win this? How did I win this? Where did this come from? And for Estes, I mean, wow. Okay, Estes and Panenko, I'm sure they're going to talk here for a second and say, hey, what happened? You know, coming through. And you see immediately just the, hey, I'm sorry, that was not intended. That's good sportsmanship. That's good racing. Eric King, though, give it up there for the Sodi. That's amazing.
I mean, incredible drive right there. I am just absolutely shocked. But congratulations to both Eric King for winning today's race and for Brant Estes, your 2026 champion.
Well, if that's a sign of how the finals are going to go, this is going to be a wild way to finish up our morning before the lunch break.
That certainly is. Next up on the docket is going to be our micro main event. They're getting set to go here in the next couple of minutes. Enjoy the sights and sounds here at AMP. And with that, after that exciting finish, it's now time for some of the youngest young superstars of the world to come out here. It is Spencer Height and Jace Chaney who will lead us to the green flag, with Luca Valdez and Wyatt Rower in 4th position. Remy Boss and Caden Pridemore in 5th and 6th, and Jackson Sloan, who will finish or start in the 7th position. Now, Bradley, I had to come to you. We just saw what we saw here with the Masters. Can the Micros try something a little different? Or could we see possibly the same thing where we determine who pretty much is going to win the race, but it turned out someone else ends up being that? Could we see a change in the guard of drivers this weekend as Spencer Height looks to keep his domination streak intact?
Well, here's the thing that I learned from the pre-final was that Chaney and Valdez are very, very quick, and I think if they can give a good challenge early on Spencer Height, they can be in a good position to keep it going. And the other thing to note, this is the longest race these competitors have had all weekend. 12 minutes plus 2 laps ends up at about 14-ish minutes here for the Micros as they come through the final corner. It's going to be important for Chaney and Valdez to get a great start here. They need to get ahead of Spencer Height early into the tram lines. Let's see how they do.
Here they come into the tram line. Do we get the green flag? The answer is yes, we do. Away we go. And already Spencer Height under pressure from Valdez and Chaney, who drops back to 3rd. Then you have the fight between Rower and Remy Boss. Looks like to be Rower ahead for the moment. He'll move up to 4th position, and that causes him to catch up to Jace Chaney, who wants to go for 3rd.
Chaney there got a little bit out of the tram lines on the start. He was looking over to the left and wanted to get a good start. I think unfortunately that put him slightly out of line. I don't know that he'll get any tramline violations on that run, but it'll be something to note here in the back of your head through as we go along here. 4th and 5th battling it out, top 3 going along. And well, I said they needed to get ahead of Spencer Height. Now for Valdez, he needs to tuck that helmet in, use a little bit of slipstream, see if he can't get a good run here as Rower and Remy Boss are battling it out.
Yes, they are. And here comes Remy Boss looking to get around Rower for the position in 4th spot, and he can't quite find the opening. He's trying his best, I will say. Really good fight there between those two drivers, as here comes Chaney to get around Valdez for position. He tries to show the nose as they head down the 43. Ooh, a little slide right there. Has to gather it back up, but that allowed him to now lose a little bit of time as they battle for the 4th spot.
And that 4th spot battling continuing along here as they go, and Boss and Rower, they are going to work their way along. Top 3 not really separated out. Spencer Height hasn't really pulled a gap like I was expecting, which is what I'm kind of surprised by. I was expecting Spencer Height to try to run away into the sunset with it, but no, he is holding in. Look at the head lean from Valdez there into the corners. He is really giving it his all there to move through. You know that a kart driver is giving it their all when their whole body is leaning into apexes of corners. They're looking to get through, but Chaney's closing the gap a little bit. Now, this is the thing that we talked about in the pre-final. They are going to start battling potentially, and when they do, that hurts them more on their run to Spencer Height. So if they can just settle it in here, it would be a great position for them to close up the gap on Spencer Height quickly.
So one thing I've noticed this weekend and this season with Spencer Height has more of that long run kart. So right now he may feel like he's not running away. Like he has had that on those short races like the heats. He'll pull out, run away from the competition. But in these pre-final and final events, it kind of is a slow build-up for him. He likes to keep it within a distance, but then once we get towards the end of that race, he will start pulling away. One, because his kart's set up properly to where he can make those long-run keep up. And then 2, everyone else starts battling amongst themselves, not really focusing on trying to catch up to Spencer Height.
And I think the answer is going to be battling amongst themselves and not catching up to Spencer Height at this point. Look at this down the inside. Chaney, the orange helmet. Valdez, that neon green helmet. They look across. Here we go. This is going to be Chaney getting his run if he can hold on to it. Height's right there on the rear bumper. Are we going to see a dive down the hill, though? We don't. And look at Rower. He has closed the gap up a bit as well. That 277 Wyatt Rower is now in the mix here. We've got a 3-kart battle for P2 showing up, and as this battle develops, again, we talked about it, what's it do? It lets Spencer Height run away.
It certainly does let Spencer Height run away indeed as they make the run, and that also brings in Rower into the hunt for a chance of a podium finish as well. How about that as they work their way through the S's? So keep an eye on that Bennick machine as they want to try to see if they can move up the running order here in your micro division. He's got a good run on Valdez. He's going to push the bumper a little bit, see if they can chase it. He looks to the inside, crosses back in line as we see Cheney trying to get a little bit of breathing room as they come out of the final hairpin.
Coming out of the final hairpin here. There we go. Look at the move from Rower trying to get a move on Valdez. Not able to here. Dips back in behind. And now Cheney has about a 2-kart length breathing room behind here as Valdez will try to close the gap. Again, you see really using the run there, but not able to get a big run up the hill. Valdez with a good head of steam there. Tries to switch it back along. And they are now all sitting in P2, 3, 4 within a couple kart lengths of each other, and Spencer Height opening the gap up 2 seconds and counting now as they come into the double left-handers.
Looking through as we watch this battle for the second position here. Spencer Height, an incredible drive as there they go side by side for the third position. Rower takes the spot away and moves himself up into third. Valdez has a little bit of work to do as they come around the circuit, and he goes a little bit wide but still holds position for the moment and has to chase Cheney down the front stretch.
Chasing down the front stretch he goes here as we see them go down the hill. Now it's up the 43 feet to go, and again you see the difference in lines producing the difference in speed coming up the hill and along into the clubhouse. Down the back side straight we go here, through the chicane we go. The double left-handers coming up, and those gaps opening up a little bit more now between those three, but now Rower able to close up and row his way up to Cheney. If he can make a move in the double left-handers, it'd be amazing to see so far. And we're only halfway through time with just over 6 minutes to go. So they still have, again, over 6 minutes of racing left to go. So if they are smart about it, there's still time to catch up to Spencer Height.
There certainly is time indeed. The question is going to be if they can work together, and they have the pace, I have to say. Last time by, they were still quite a ways off as Wyatt does move up. He's only about a 0.2 or about a tenth behind the fast pace of Spencer Height. The problem is he's stuck in between two drivers he's got to work with in order to make the charge.
And that is a hard place to find yourself, honestly, is being stuck in between drivers when you want to try to make a charge and you know that you can be faster, and you're faster in certain sections of the track, but other sections of the track you just can't find the runaway here. So that's the thing, is it's, you know, we always say it's one thing to catch, it's another to pass, and depending on how you've set up the kart, you might be good in the straightaways, the corners might not be ideal, and depending on how you've tuned that kart around, maybe you picked the wrong section of the track to be fast in, and it's just not letting you set up passes. It's hard to say as we go along here and watch this battle go through. This is going to be an interesting moment for me to watch here and see what happens as Rower has now rode his way in and closed the gap out to about 0.2 of a second here as they go across the line. I think really we're seeing Spencer Height do what Spencer Height continues to do and stretch away here. Rower looks a little bit inside on the downhill, but again, you lose momentum to the uphill, and that's one of those things that it's very hard to sit at. And now look at this, he's getting antsy, he's looking for moves.
He certainly is looking for positioning here as he looks to try and get that little extra for an extra positioning. This is his debut for the season here. As a little contact between the two of them as they'll go side by side. Cheney will hold on to the position. This is to determine who will finish second in the championship running order. Currently in favor of Luca Valdez, as we see Cheney trying everything he can to get that little extra and maybe try and take the second spot in the championship away from Valdez as he holds on tight, as here comes Rower down the stream as they cross the line. 4 minutes to go plus 2 laps.
Still plenty of time for this race to shake up. I mean, we saw what just happened in Masters. It wasn't over until the final lap came through, and that's really what determined things for everyone. So you never know how these battles can go. Welcome to karting, ladies and gentlemen. If it's the first time here, well, this is how karting goes. Sometimes things just shake up in ways that you don't expect. So I don't write anything off until the end. This is going to be fun here going along through double left-hander here. Again, you see Cheney a little bit tighter on the line, a little bit more defensive, trying to hold up Rower, and Rower trying to sweep a little bit wider, carry a bit more momentum, but has to check up because Cheney is doing all the right things to defend here.
Absolutely, as we watch the drivers work their way around the circuit here, and also Rower's just trying to get that little extra. He gets the run he needs off corner exit, just can't quite find the little extra in order to take over second place. As we also have to say good morning to our crews out over in California and also in Arizona, as it's a triple header weekend here in the world of Kart Chaser. As down the outside, Rower will try to get around. That opens the door for Valdez to make a run.
And that door opening, Valdez now going for the run here, but he loses a bit of momentum up the hill. That's the big thing I've noticed with Valdez. He's got great pace going down the hill, going through the corners, but uphill, which is, well, unfortunately, a large majority of this track is where I think he's really losing momentum. And I think, unfortunately, here for our youngest drivers, age 7 to 10, I think a little bit of fatigue might slip in as well here as we're hitting this final event. 12 minutes plus 2 laps, the tail end of this race. It's very, very demanding to make it all the way through. And these guys are racing so hard. I worry at some point we're going to hit the proverbial cliff for them. It's just going to be a case of, well, just not enough left in the tank to give.
Absolutely, but as we watch these three, of course, we'll say good morning to our crews out in California and Arizona. It's a triple header weekend once again on Kart Chaser. Of course, here on the East Coast, we have the coverage of the Apex Karting Championship, South Division Championship race. And then, of course, we have out in Arizona the opening round for the Rotax RMC Championship Series, as well as also the next round, of course, of none other than the champions of the future out in K1 in Winchester, California. So if you pretty much start with us here in the morning in Georgia, you can then wrap up your late afternoon with the crew over in Arizona, and then have your dinner time right around with the crew of the champions of the future out in California. So it's kind of a little bit of a fun day here for karting, and bounce around between all three of our great championships that we have going on. Don't forget, this afternoon we'll be back at it once again with the 206 categories to crown champions in the Apex Karting Championship Series.
I think that it's kind of amazing to see where this is coming along here with Kart Chaser. Again, I think this is our first triple header weekend. I know we've had some double header weekends, but I can't think of the last time there was a triple header weekend, if there was one. So it's great to see just the expansion of karting all across the nation here, and getting to cover it here on Kart Chaser is so much fun. Honestly, it is so much fun to really see it coming through. So as we watch these karts continue to battle here, I mean, I can tell you right now that once I get through after this, I'm going to be doing some watching of the West Coast action going through. If you've missed any of the clips on social media, it's been a lot of fun to watch through. Spencer Hyde about to cross the line here, so we'll have 3 laps to go when he crosses the line, because there's 10 seconds left to go on the clock as he crosses the line.
So 3 laps to go for Spencer Height to look forward to claiming his championship run as they crest down the hill of 43 drop before making a 43-foot climb to the top once again. I gotta say, the people who designed this track at AMP, both the main circuit and the kart circuit, I gotta give major kudos to. Not because of just all the different configurations at this circuit, but also just this main circuit of how much it really tests the limits of every single driver with the kart. You have some long straightaways that can set up for some great passing opportunities and drafting. You have tight hairpins that open the door for many things to happen. And then, of course, you have the elevation changes around this circuit. That makes it so unique. I have to say, AMP, probably now one of my top favorite circuits on our calendar that we go to.
I'm always going to be a little partial to the track in Cincinnati because, well, that is my home track. So, of course, I have to be. It's my nearest karting track, unfortunately, for living in Kentucky. So that is what is really going to be my problem for things, of course. But AMP is definitely fighting for the front here as it goes through. It's an amazing track. I love seeing the undulation and the runs and everything that goes into this track that makes it challenging. It is genuinely just the best of both worlds.
Absolutely. I mean, it's great to see, and I hope to see this track back on the calendar next season for the Apex Karting Championship. It's a great way to wrap up the season, or even start the season. We'll just have to wait and see how it all plays out as they come across the line. White flag in the air for Spencer Height. Just one more lap to crown a champion here in your micro division. As we watch on further back behind, as Valdez tries to close in on Rower, but so far not looking in his favor. But still, a lot can happen. The checker flag has not fallen as he tries to see if he can close the gap for third.
I think what's going to be interesting to watch here is that gap closing in for third. Rower and Valdez battling it through. Cheney has managed to pull a bit of comfort behind here for Height. It's just half a lap of doing what Spencer Height has done all weekend. It's keep it consistent, keep it smooth, keep it clean, and just finish up the final half a lap. Remember, nothing's guaranteed in the world of karting until we cross the checkered flag, but as of right now, it's looking pretty doggone good.
Spencer Height, of course, came into the season opener for only being the only micro driver. He then goes to Jacksonville and dominates. This weekend, he sweeps it. A perfect weekend once again. A championship for Spencer Height as we watch the battle for the final step of the podium. Rower rowing his way across the line. He will end up third. Valdez fourth. Remy Boss, Jackson Sloan, and Kanan Pridemore rounding out your 7 drivers. But give it up to your champion, Spencer Height, winning in the micro division here today. An incredible drive for him, an incredible season for him, and of course, once again, a perfect weekend for him once again.
So amazing to see Spencer Height have such a good run here. Rower and Valdez had some great battles through as well. It was great to watch those 4 battle it along, and you see them already talking it out.
You've noticed that Nitro logo on the back. He is one of the top Nitro drivers in his category. That right there, I have to say, is a future superstar in the making, one that we will see possibly work his way, whether it be to one of Nitro's many different categories of racing in the future. But of course, it all starts right here on the kart track, and Spencer Height is now an official, or hopefully soon to be official, champion of the Apex Karting Championship.
Hi, I'm Jackson with Alpha Race Hub. Alpha is an all-in-one motorsports software solution that can solve all the software problems you need for your track, facility, or series. Alpha can cover all your software bases, from online registration, digital e-waivers, a proprietary timing and scoring software, incident management, automated points tabulation, tire and barcode scanning. We even have our own mobile timing app and rental kart activity management software. If you're looking to consolidate your motorsports software solutions, reach out to us at alphatiming.co.uk.
Welcome back to Kart Chasers coverage of the 2026 Apex Karting Championship South Division. It's Championship Sunday, and it's time for one of our main event classes, the KA Seniors. Now, if you remember a few moments ago with the pre-final, Daniel Perez did come across the finish line first. However, post-race penalties did come out, and Mr. Daniel Perez received a 3-second jump start penalty. So that will relegate him to finishing in second, which now has him starting in second position. Evan Strasser as well. We saw him also having a good run inside the top 10. Received a 5-second penalty for incident responsibility. So he will be starting tail in Charlie in the group. Here's your starting lineup. It's Sam Obrutsky and Daniel Perez on the front row, with Michelle Zampieri and Connor Corsi in row 2. Aiden Lieber and Alex Siculio in row number 3, with Meyer Lewis and Evan Santinello in row 4. Braden Heber and Tyler Sims in row 5, followed by Thomas Sherrick, Austin Thompson, Evan Strasser, and Martin Simonov, your 14 drivers for today's feature race in the KA Seniors.
It's going to be a fun one to see here, that post-race penalty shaking things up a bit here, but I do think when all things are said and done, you know, championship-wise, I think Daniel Perez is going to be in a great position for it. It is just going to be a matter here at this point. Can Obrutsky hold off Perez? Can Zampieri get past? Can Connor Corsi get through? I mean, we had some great battles here in KA Senior through the pre-final. We had 3 extra minutes on here. Who knows where this race ends?
Absolutely. We're going to find out as they come into the tram line. In the championship hunt, it is still going to be one to watch amongst these competitors as we keep an eye on the battle across the line. Green flag is out of Obrutsky, trying to lead the charge as we see Perez trying to go up to the front, just go for another perfect weekend once again as he tries to find his way around and go for his 3rd win of the season.
Going for that 3rd win of the season, easier said than done here. But of course, I mean, if you've already won 2, you want to go for the 3rd. You might as well go for the 3rd here. And, well, I will say for Perez, there's a bit of deja vu because he finished 2nd in the pre-final in round 1, 2nd in the pre-final in round 2, and he won the finals. And what did he do in the pre-final this morning? Finished 2nd place. Don't be surprised if you see him trying to make a charge for the front.
He's going to try his best to do so here as we watch on with this battling in this major group of drivers through the field. And so far, Perez and Obrutsky leading the charge. Zampieri with a good run in 3rd position as they're trying to work their way up through the running order. Of course, this is their only start for the season, but still, it's good to be one of the best of the rest kind of deals in this situation for being only making 1 start in this championship. Hopefully see them competing in the Midwest North Division in a few months' time.
Wouldn't be surprised to see them compete in the Northwest or in the Midwest Division going through as they go. Perez, Obrutsky up in the front, battling it out hard, and then you've got Zampieri, a little bit of gap there, 4th and 5th. Corsi and Siculio, they are keeping each other honest as well. If these front 2 start battling it out too hard, you're going to see that wonderful magic game that always happens in karting where it all closes up, and as it all closes up, it's going to get much closer and much more competitive very quickly. I can't wait to see how this one plays out.
Absolutely. As we watch the battle for 4, Perez is looking to try to see if he can take over the race lead here in this race, but I think right now he knows where he sits in the championship. Doesn't need to push the envelope early on. We still have plenty of time. If he sees an opening, he will take it. He has done that before in previous rounds of this championship, especially over at NOLA. And I have to say, he's probably going to do the same thing again here as they work their way through the double left. We watch that group of 4 for the 4th position between Corsi, Siculio, Lewis, and Lieber, who are having a spirited fight for the position.
Great fight there for position going through with them. You see a little bit of curb use there, just trying to work the karts as quickly as possible. Nobody really running away at this point with 9 minutes, 15 seconds left to go as we cross the line for the top 2. And again, they're separated by virtually nothing, bumper to bumper as they go. Zampieri closing in within a second of Obrutsky and Perez now, and that is going to be important for them as they go along. However, Obrutsky, fastest kart on track with an identical time to Perez, 53.204, and it was a 53.3 for Zampieri last time along. So those gaps, those times are going to prove to be consistent. It's this run into the double left-hander that is really seeing the gap open up the most. We've got a little bit of looking for positions back behind there from Lewis and Lieber. They don't go for anything, but they certainly were thinking about it.
So one thing to keep in mind, after the races that we've had so far today and yesterday, Connor Corsi, after we total all the points for all the rounds, not counting the drops, moves up into 2nd place in the championship hunt. Same thing with Alex Siculio moving up to 3rd. We're still waiting on official drop points and everything that will happen as we watch on, but this could shake up the championship due to the fact Levi Getz and Henry Wheeler are not competing in this event for the KA Seniors final. So a lot of things could change in the championship from second on back that we'll have to keep an eye on as we watch these drivers do battle for position. Same thing with the rest of the field of drivers that we watch on through here and see who ends up on the top step of the podium here in this race as Perez and Abruzzi look to try and fight their way through. They're still nose to tail. Zampiri by in no man's land with Corsi and Seculio, who are the two who will be battling for second in the championship, battle it out amongst themselves for the fourth position.
Still watching to see if any moves go through. Perez thought about a move there on Evtruski into the final corner. He looked a little bit closer on the inside, but did not go for the pass there, but he did set up a little bit tighter of a line. So you can see him really thinking about making those runs through for Perez and Evtruski as they go along. They keep battling it through, though. In this case, senior category, again, as a reminder, this is ages 15 and older, 360-pound cart, and driver combined. So when they look through, again, with that age group, you get drivers who are wise to the thought that it is better to wait a little bit later in the race to battle than it is to battle early on. Minis and micros, you tend to see that early battling, and we've got somebody off in the double left-handers.
Trying to get the numbers a little blurred out. Hopefully we can pick it up as he comes out of the S's right here to see who had that off on the track. And
Looks
can't
like one
quite
of our front runners.
It does. I just can't quite pick off the number. We'll see as they come around as timing and scoring. And it is the 9-10 of Lewis. Meyer Lewis dropping back. So tough break for him. He was having such a good run inside the top corner. Unfortunately, he is going to have quite a bit of work to do, but still has time to make up some ground.
I gotta wonder if that was the result of a little bit of contact.
Oh,
here we go. The inside Perez.
He fires off. He found his opening, and he will take it over just at the halfway point of the race as they lead the charge. And Zampiri now under pressure from Corsi and Seculio as they head down the backstretch.
So Perez said, all right, Evtruski, you led half the race. Now give me the other half of the race to lead. And we'll see, is there a swap back here from Evtruski? Does he try to go back past Perez here as they come along? Third, fourth, and fifth, Zampiri, Corsi, Seculio. Well, they try to fight it out a little bit as well. I'm curious to really see how this top two handles at the moment. Perez, not the fastest part on track. And neither of the fastest part on track is actually Seculio right now, who has the fastest time of anyone with a 53.129.
He certainly does. I'm looking through. Last time by, it was Perez who set the fastest laps last time by. And Abruzzi starting to lose a little bit of touch. He's got to be careful because Perez, once he gets in that clean air, he likes to etch out that race lead by a significant margin. So he is going to try to have to keep up the pace as best that he can and find every inch he can of track to keep up that run.
Down the hill we go here. Evtruski, Perez holding along, and you can see Evtruski working it a little bit wider down the hill, carrying a bit more momentum, but he's just not able to use that to really capitalize for this sector of the track. I say that, he might prove me wrong here. Through the chicane they go, and now we just spin this along. He's closing, and he's right there in position where he can try to make a run if he wants on the double left-handers. He doesn't. Now through the back straightaway they go. And this has been a really interesting sort of cat and mouse game they've played at this point with Evtruski and Perez, where they're thinking about going along. They're not really overly forcing issues. They're just right there with each other. And I mean, you can even see at this point, Perez isn't even looking over his shoulder. He's tucking down, and he is thinking, you know what, let me try to get a bit more aerodynamic here. I don't have anyone in front of me to draft, but if I can get a little bit more aerodynamic, I can get a little bit more going here on the main straight as we have 3 minutes 45 seconds left to go. This battle isn't over, but for the moment it seems like someone's bored a little bit of hold.
Yeah, just a little bit, I have to say, Brad, as we watch these drivers work their way through. Abruzzi, I saw going up the hill, went a little bit too wide, hit that rumble strip possibly a little too hard, so that caused him to lose touch briefly. But as we watch our race leaders head down the back stretch, keep an eye on Zampieri, Zapulio, and Corsi. They are starting to build up a possible fight for that final step of the podium here today. And as we watch the leaders head into the hairpin, there you see your drivers. Julio trying to find the opening to get around Zampieri. Corsi losing a spot last time by is now having to hold on as we see Daniel Perez setting his fastest lap of the race last time by. He's looking to try and hold on to this race lead.
Great runs there from Zampieri, Zaculio, and Corsi as they battle their way along here coming through. And I won't be surprised to see these positions swap at least a couple of times as they come through. And also, 947, Aiden Lieber, who is going to be trying to close in the gap as well, as these three kind of keep each other honest. It's going to bring that fourth part into the mix, and you never know. We could see a P6 end up in P3 when it's all said and done. Lieber could end up in P3 if these four start battling it out and things get a little bit wild here around AMP. We've seen crazier things happen so far today, that's for sure.
We certainly have, and as they come across the line here with 2 minutes to go, it's going to be a fun fight here for that third position as Zampieri gets a little bit of breathing room briefly as we watch the leaders crest up the hill. Corsi in that comp cart, ready to take the fight to the driver in the Kart Republic of Zaculio, who has nearly kicked in the afterburner last time by. He is really trying to find his way back up into third after having not the best of starts in the pre-fight.
Continuing along here and through, trying to recover in for this final run. A minute 30 plus 2 laps to finish up this championship as they go. And just taking a look here at the run for the moment as they go. Daniel Perez, of course, in the championship run. There's a dive down the inside. That's a great pass coming along there to go. And you see the happiness. You see the helmet tuck. We have a bit of bump draft. That's Corsi and Zaculio, who have now swapped positions, and you see here Corsi very happy with how he was able to make that stick in the final corner. Now he needs to set off on a tear if he can to chase down Zampieri for P3.
Keep an eye on Aiden Lieber right there in 6th position. He's coming into fray of this battle. He was 2/10 of a second. In fact, last time he was 4/10 of a second faster than both Zaculio and Corsi. He has found that kart dialed in to be where it counts right at the end, and he is looking to try to take that Bobby Club Racing service machine up through the top 5, maybe challenge for a podium.
Wouldn't surprise me a bit here as he comes through the backstretch. That third kart, or that last kart in your shot, as they go through leaders of Trusky and Perez. They've closed up the gap to each other a little bit. We have 3 laps to go at this point, so it'll be this lap plus 2 more. And well, here we go. Watch out for Lieber. I thought he would try something down the hill, but we've talked about it. Down the hill, not the best place to go, but you can lose the momentum up the hill. And these karts, yes, they can get up a 43-foot hill, but you remember from yesterday, Heat 1 and Heat 2, sometimes you get stalled out on the hill and it creates problems. Battle for the lead. Now heating up. There we go. Trusky back down the inside of Perez.
Rutsky takes over the spot here, right where it counts as they come to get 2 laps to go for your leaders as they come down the back straightaway. Does Perez think about going on the attack, heading into the hairpin, or does he wait for the opportune time on the final time around? Heading down into the hairpin, he shows the nose on the inside and will hold position. Tap of the helmet from Avrutsky like, hey, let's go. Let's keep it clean. We don't want to bring anyone else into the mix, which how they are at right now as Lieber breaks into the top 5. It's pretty much a matter of just keeping it clean amongst your top 2.
Just trying to watch and see the lines between Trusky and Perez. If Perez is thinking about a move to turn,
there he goes.
The double left-handers. Thought about it. He's still not there though. Like that's the thing. You have to commit for those double left-handers. And the problem is if you go for the move and it doesn't stick, it really, really hurts you down this path. So he didn't go for it there. Does he go for it into this run? Avtrusky defensive. Look at this. Here we go. Swap back around. We're coming in for 2 laps to go.
As they cross the line, they will actually get the white flag. One more lap for the driver of Daniel Perez here, as now Avrutski looks to try to cross him over a little bit. Tries the outside lane, entering the uphill, does not work. He's got a couple of more opportunities to try and get that kart around the driver of Daniel Perez, who's looking to go for a championship, looking to go for 3 feature race wins in a row this season. As here comes Avrutski, looking to try to cross over under, makes contact, pushes them out of the way. They bang wheels, they bang side pods as they race their way out of the S's.
Down the back straight, they're going to go here, and you see the look over the shoulder from Avrutski to Perez, and they're going for passes in the middle of the straightaway. Not what I expected to see here. They go sideways down, side by side, down into the final corner. Here we go, swap across, one way to the other. Perez to the inside, Avrutski to the outside. You see him trying to get the momentum, but Perez able to switch it back on the final corner, and Perez will get it by half a tenth. The drag race, 4th, 5th, 6th. It will be Corsi over Oliver, but Zaculio holds on to 4th, Zampiri in 3rd.
An incredible fight to the finish there, but for Daniel Perez, pending any penalties or infractions, he is unofficially your race winner, as well as your 2026 Apex Karting Champion, aka Seniors Champion here today. Incredible run, great sportsmanship, great racing amongst our KA Senior drivers.
4th place driver there of Alex Zaculio. You can tell that was very physically exhausting for him, as he was sitting there just helmet on the steering wheel for a moment, taking a second to breathe. That was hard fought between everyone there. But Daniel Perez, great run.
A great run indeed for Daniel Perez, as he will now have a great performance. Looking forward to seeing what he can do the rest of the year. There you see your soon-to-be crowned KA Seniors Champion. As we take a few moments to get ready for our next main event, it is the Minis next on the docket here on Kart Chaser.
Macron Motorsports builds champions every day, drivers who won on the world stage. The Tillotson T4 Series is pure spec racing. Same engine, same chassis. When you win, it's because you were the best that day. Your edge is not the kart, it's the setup, the strategy, and the race team. With our Arrive and Drive program, you simply bring your gear, we provide the equipment and the championship winning support to every event. Stop wrenching, start racing. Your path to the T4 Nations Cup in Spain starts with us. For more information, contact us at macronmotorsports.net.
Are you ready to get behind the wheel? From Formula One to NASCAR and IndyCar, all the pros start here. For more information, check us out online at mcckarting.com or call us.
with that, we are now down to our final 2 races of the morning session. Your IAME Mini Swift drivers are heading out onto the circuit. Here's your starting lineup for today's action in the Mini Swift category. It's Bo Stowers and Andrew Anastasio, who will lead us to the green flag, followed by Liam Four and Ruben Green. Bo Laser and Nazar Maridenko will be in row 3, followed by Blake Martinez in 7th position.
I think this is going to be a fun one here for the minis as they get formed up. I think the big thing, again, is watch Liam 4 and P3. He looked very, very quick today and had some great runs compared to yesterday, where he was able to really get things up and going as they are going down the back stretch now. I think watching for Liam 4 there, who's in 3rd place, he's trying to close up the championship. And this championship, it's very close, 727 to 723 Greer to Stowers as it sits currently.
Yeah, so right now it is currently in favor of Bo Stowers for the championship run, not counting drops, not counting anything. And then, of course, it's going to be Ruben Greer. Anastasio sits 3rd, so it's going to be a tight fight. Who will be able to be smart, take care of their equipment, not make any mistakes? We're about to find out as they enter the tram line to get the green flag. 12 minutes plus 2 laps of action in your IAME Mini Swift competition. And as they head down into turn number 1, how about Anastasio getting the race lead away on the opening run?
Watch Ruben Greer there. I think that was Ruben Greer getting into P2 early on, getting a run along as he moves through there. And then Bo Stowers and Andrew Anastasio all keeping the mix together as they go. Kart was a little bit slow there. Believe was Liam 4 who dropped down the order early on. Top 3 going to keep a battle very quickly. Look at this, already having to go defensive on lap 1 of a 12-minute final. This is impressive to see.
Impressive fight here amongst the drivers as we see Stowers dropping back to 3rd, Ruben Greer up to 2nd, Anastasio with the race lead. This could change the whole shakeup of the championship as they race their way through into the hairpin for the first time on green flag conditions in this final. And already drivers just trying to find their dancing partner to see who can hunt down your top 3.
Trying to hunt down the top 3 there, and that is Bo Stowers already going up the inside of Ruben Greer there for P2. They got to watch out for Andrew Anastasio, though, as they stay side by side going down the hill. Now, this is something we haven't really seen, and you see the pace difference between Greer and Stowers. That lets Liam 4 and P4 and the 104 catch up a little bit here and get his way through, and he is going to be looking to make a move. Everyone looking feisty here in this mini final. They understand this is the final. We're going to go 3 wide here for P2. Watch this as they go up into the double left-handers.
Liam 4 ready to come out and show some moves around the circuit. He'll move up to 3rd position here, and that allows Anastasio to run away here for the time being. And Ruben Greer has to be careful now that he sits in 4th. He's got to be careful not to lose any more positioning to the driver of Bo Stowers.
And being careful on that, not losing position and not losing some pace here. That's going to be all important here as we cross the line here. Top 4 settle in. Anastasio, Stowers, 4, Greer. Bo Laser, Martinenko, and Martinez are behind their 5th, 6th, and 7th. They are having a great little battle as well as they go through. But the top 4, I mean, they're just not giving anyone breathing room here in the front. And as they continue to battle here, you got to watch out for 5th, 6th, and 7th as they go through 2nd and 3rd here. Stowers and 4 look like they may go for a charge for the lead here. They've got the pace. They've got the run. Defense to the inside. They're going to go for it. 4 settles in. He sends it through. Is this a 2-for-1 special here for the lead? Yes, it is. And Anastasio drops all the way back to 3rd, possibly back to 4th.
Great fight here as we now see Anastasio dropping back, and now Stowers doing what he needs to do to hold on to the positioning he needs in order to win this race as they head down into the corner here in the final time with 9 minutes to go. Anastasio has some work to do in this stage of the race. Can he keep the pace going as he sits now in 3rd position? Greer back to 4th. It is a 4-horse race for the race win. 2 horses battling it out for the championship.
This is going to be an exciting one to watch here because of the championship implications. You never know where this is going to go with everything as it stands. Again, Greer leads Stowers right now by 4 points, but that's not counting drop rounds. That's not counting pre-finals. So you've got to wonder for Greer and Stowers what will be the long-term plan. Stowers, or Greer really right now, is the one in the hot seat on the back end, because here's the thing. If Stowers gets this win, he gets to drop round 2, where he finished 5th in the final. And if Stowers can have a great run here today, that will swing the championship his way, if only just. And for Ruben Greer, I mean, he's finished second in both of the finals in round 1 and round 2. It's a very much roll the dice game right now.
It certainly is. We can confirm officially Brant Estes will be your champion in the KA Masters. They have just released the point standings on that situation with Shane Burkett and Eric King, your top 3 in the championship. And that matter. Also in the micro division, it is going to go the way of the driver of Spencer Height. No surprise there in his championship run as well. We'll keep you updated on any other official championship once the points are coming through, and go through the rest of the day with some exciting action as we watch the driver of Bo Stowers looking to get that championship here in your mini Swift category.
This is going to be a very big gamble for Greer at this point. He's dropped off the touch of the top 3 here, and again, championship implications are big on this one. He could actually drop into 3rd place in the championship if he's not careful, because Liam 4 is 3rd place in the championship. So if Liam 4 has a great result today, it could swing the championship even further around, which is something that, you know, looking at it, I hadn't even thought about the fact that Liam 4 was in that position to really try to challenge. If 4 can get ahead of Stowers, I mean, it's possible. Liam 4, who's finished P3 both round 1 and round 2 finals, won the pre-final in round 1, he could maybe try for a good run here today and see where the drop rounds swing things in his favor or out of his favor. Of course, he didn't have a great heat 1 or 2 here today, so
Liam 4 currently is 400. Yeah, Liam 4 is 491 in the point standings. Unless he wins this race, I don't really see him challenging for a stop of the top 3 in the championship. It's going to have to be where Greer, Stowers, and Anastasio fall outside of the top 3, and Liam 4 wins the race. That's going to have to be a big change in order for that to shake up. So he will be comfortable in 4th position unless something happens and Nazar Martinenko is able to find his way up into the top 4.
Big challenges coming along nevertheless here for them as they go. This is going to be a big one to really watch here, because again, that's just the implications of drop rounds, and that is one of the things, you know, drop rounds can really shake things up and sometimes swing things in the way you want it and the way you don't want it. 5.5 minutes left to go here, and that's the 43 Anastasio right on the back of 4 here, the 104 in P2, trying to find a way up into 2nd place itself, trying to catch up to Stowers. This is where you see the minis, they've kind of gotten past that I'm faster, I get past now sort of strategy, and they get into the position of, well, get me up to someone and let's get multiple positions in a run here. So you see them working with each other, trying to close the gap to Stowers, doing a fairly good job so far.
Watching the field of drivers here as your top 3 have pulled away from Ruben Greer. Not what Greer needs to have happen for him, as he has to make some pace in order to charge up to the front. Bo Stowers doing what he needs to do in this group of drivers here as 4 tries to pick up that little extra. He wants to try to go for his first win of the season here in the finale.
Going for that first win of the season here would be amazing for him to go through and along. So let's see if he can do so heading through up the hill. Going along here, 4 minutes left to go, and it genuinely is still anyone's game. Anastasio still seems like the pace is there in that 143 against that 104, at least down the hill. A little bit of a bump, a little bit of a run attempted, but not able to make it work. Sticking a little bit tighter of a line past the clubhouse here, and now down the hill we go here. Really, that 43 is looking up, down, left, right, trying to find some way, somehow to get through. Here we go. Dive to the inside into the double left-hander. It's going to be the pass. Will it be the switchback? It is not. Defends it off beautifully. And Anastasio now up into P2, trying to chase down Stowers for the win. 3.5 minutes left to go.
He's got time to make it work, and with help from Liam 4, they could make a charge up to your race leader of Bo Stowers, which in a way could help out with Ruben Greer for his chances to keep his title hopes alive as they come out of the final corner. 3.5 minutes to go. I gotta say, Stowers has got to be careful because Anastasio has set the pace, but Bo Stowers by himself just set a personal best, a total of 0.2 faster than Anastasio.
Still watching here for the gap, the pace, everything to solidify itself out, because of course as this battling continues, that makes things more and more interesting for Anastasio. I think I found the better way to work with Anastasio in the front. I think they're closing the gap a bit here to Stowers as they go along this time around. We'll see when they cross the line what that gap checks in at the front stretch. It seems like it's trying to close, but I don't think it's really closing near as much as they need it to with 2.5 minutes to go. Coming out of the final corner, let's see, gap last time over was 3/4 of a second, Anastasio to Stowers, and gap this time will come in at almost a second. So no, it is in fact doing the opposite and opening up more. So for Stowers, I mean, that's music to his ears.
It is music to his ears indeed, as we wait to see what he can accomplish as he stretches out that race lead a little bit more around this circuit. Now the question is going to be, what will Four and Anastasio do? Will they start battling for second once they realize they cannot close up to your race leader? They get a good run down the straightaway, but they just don't seem to be organized enough in the braking areas.
Not organized at all, and that is going to be detrimental for them looking through. That was the thing I was really looking to see, was do they figure out how to work together a little bit. This gap seems like coming across through the final corner here, 1:30 plus 2 laps to go. Let's see, when they cross the line, it was 9:82 last time. This time it's 9:16. They've organized it a little bit, they've closed it a little bit, but I still just don't. I think we're too late in the race for a big charge to come through, and I think the big question for the 143 to the 104 is going to be the case of, well, do you want to finish second, or can we figure it out quickly enough to go for the lead? And I think ultimately for them, they're going to end up deciding to battle it out amongst themselves for second place and not going for that lead, because there's a lot that they could do right now, and right now it just seems like, again, I think they have the right order to be fastest, but I just don't know that they have enough time now to really close this up.
I think if they wait and see, if they don't have anything making any gains by the final lap, is when we'll start seeing Four starting to put more pressure on Anastasio. I think right now he's okay running in position, seeing what he can try and do, but Anastasio is knowing that they have only a few short laps. So looking right around 3 laps to go, and yeah, right there they lost another 0.2 on Bo Stowers. So it's kind of just seesawing and not in the right direction, where they don't make those big gains here in the closing stages.
They need Stowers to really make an error to help them close up. And the thing with Stowers is Stowers doesn't look like he's in a position to make an error. It looks like for Bo Stowers, this is just a case of hang on and just run your race. Don't think about it at all. And they seem like they're closing gaps into the double left-handers at the bottom of the circuit, but it's this whole back stretch into the corners that's really where they're losing time going through. Let's see here as we go across. It is this lap plus 2 more to go, and I think at this point this is where Four is starting to think about, all right, how do I set up a pass back? Where do I set up a pass back here? Stick right on the back of the rear bumper. And well, was Stowers slow that time through? Because that gap seems like it's closed down a little bit more. We'll see officially if it's just my eyes playing tricks on me.
They picked
no,
4
that gap actually did close half a second. Wow.
Wow, indeed. So now the question is going to be, can they make it work here in this final push to the checkered flag as they work their way down through turn 3 and 4, heading down the hill once again on towards the double left-handers? It's anyone's guess of how this will all play out.
All right, let's see here. Four needs to help Anastasio catch up, and it looks like Four is very much playing the shotgun position on the field here and getting a bit of a push and helping Anastasio. Let's see here as they cross the line. I can't believe that Stowers lost half a second there that last lap. He was significantly off the pace. I didn't even see where that came from. I didn't really see where he lost the pace here going through. And here we go, down in the run into the final corner. This is the closest they've been, and all of a sudden this final lap, we'll see 3 karts battle it out for the lead potentially. Look over the right shoulder, look over the left shoulder for Stowers. Taylor, it's all to play for.
It is anyone's guess of who will come up on the top step of the podium here and who will win the championship amongst these drivers. Stowers with a big run as here comes Anastasio looking to try to find that extra little bit to find his way to take over the race win here as they head down the hill towards the double left-hander. Does Liam Four stay close with Anastasio to help them make the charge? We see Stowers go defensive. Here now goes Anastasio around the outside, crosses him up to the bottom of the racetrack, pushes him out of the way, and Andrew Anastasio to the race lead here on the final lap. One more last attempt for Stowers to make sure he can have what it takes to win the championship, possibly as they head down into the final corner. Anastasio looking for his first win of the season here at the Apex Karting Championship, goes defensive on the bottom, but it's going to be a drag race. 3 karts abreast to the start-finish line. Give the race win to the driver of Bo Stowers. What would that be?
1 millisecond.
1 millisecond. The difference between your two drivers. An incredible race win for Bo Stowers in a close fight to the finish here. We've had some incredible racing in our IAME and KA categories.
Wow, I couldn't have called that one. I almost thought Liam Four was going to steal it from him until they defended the inside line out of the final corner. What was that? That was amazing. Wow, okay. Didn't expect to see that one today, but I am very pleasantly happy with that one.
We'll have to wait and see. Anastasio, they feel like they might have won the race too, but we'll have to double check from pending inspection and everything. But for Bo Stowers, depending on how this will play out, this should give him the championship. And with that, we are down to... Go ahead.
I'm trying to see if I can get any sort of official confirmation on the back end here, if that's accurate on our timing screen or if the timing is slightly off.
But while we wait for that, we are down to our final race of the morning session, your KA Juniors, and they'll be next here on Kart Chaser. And with that exciting finish, we now go to our final race of the morning session. It's going to be Callan Berghofer and Cameron Johnson on the front row, with Oliver Nybert and Kai Mars in row 2, Graham Eslicks and Harrison Burklow in row 3, with Isaac Carvalho and Daniel Dragunov in row 4. Jet Price and Riley Doublier will be your top 10.
Taylor, this is another race that can have championship implications depending on how the results finish. We've seen wild swings so far today, swings continuing along, and I'm curious to see how this goes through. One driver to watch is Sean Portnoy there, the 8:35, starting P13 on the day. He was sitting in third place in points coming into this run at 6:34. I'm curious to see if he can close up at all.
He's going to try his best, I have to say. If he gets a good run, the only problem is, look at his past results here today. A 9th in Heat 1, a 15th, and a 13th in Heat 2 and the pre-final. So Portnoy could possibly not be in the best position. Burklow, however, could make a jump up and have a chance to challenge for the 3rd position of the championship. But now it is a green flag. All eyes are on Cameron Johnson and Oliver Nybert to see who will be your champion in your category in the KA Juniors, as drivers jockey for position here on the opening run.
Already had some big shakeups here in the front here in the mid-pack. Everyone past the clubhouse, going along, down and around, and well, watch out for that top 3. It's going to shuffle once, probably twice, 3 times here before we cross the start-finish line here on the start. You've got more battling mid-pack along. Everyone trying to make it through the double left-handers into the S, and mind the curbs there as you go through. Make sure you leave some racing room and make sure you battle it out here. See everyone getting back into a single-file run. Bump drafts galore coming down the middle of the pack here as that slipstream all important for these drivers crossing the line here. Oh, we've got big contact there.
2 drivers go around after making contact with a 3rd driver. That is Dobelier and Lapin. Throw in also Arthur Napignan, who is also stuck out there on the track. Tough break for 3 of those competitors.
Happy for him. Meanwhile, up front, Berghofer, Johnson, Nybert, Mars, and Burklow, your top 5 all battling it out. Very, very close together. You get a little bit of a gap back to 6th place there of Eslick, and then Price in P7 leads the next train of karts coming around here. Double left-hander. There's the signal from Berghofer. Let's get our way forward. Stop worrying about fighting me. Don't fight me yet. Let's run our way away a little bit here. Somebody help me out. And I think, unfortunately, there's not a lot of help here. As you see, the kart's still on track, and you see the official here trying to make sure everyone gets through clean and in one piece, which they do.
How about Bowen Green, who's got some work to do? He's had to start in the back of the pack after not finishing in the pre-final. He is trying to work his way through the running order and try to prevent as much position and point championship loss as he can. He's currently 13th and looking for more as we keep an eye on these drivers up at the front of the field. Johnson just being patient. He knows he's got plenty of time to work with. Nybert right behind him in 3rd as they work their way through the S's on the back straightaway. But Berghofer and that BJR Lando Norris kart looking to try and sweep the weekend.
Can I tell you something wild looking here at the timing of the first couple of laps? Bowen Green was the fastest kart of anyone going through last time around, and he had some great pace here as we cross the line. We'll see if that resets. And right now, Cameron Johnson will take that run. We'll see if anyone else mixes things up as we go through. So watch that 2nd place kart of Cameron Johnson, the 810. That's going to be a kart that I think will be very competitive here against Berghofer.
Well, I mean, Cameron Johnson is your championship racer because he's looking to try and secure his chances of winning the KA Junior category here this weekend, as he has just got to be patient, not make a mistake. He's got a comfortable lead over Oliver Nybert by about a good 30 to 40 points right now, not counting the drop weeks, of course, with the drop round. So if it stays like it is, Johnson could possibly still clinch the championship, barring he does not have a mistake or finish outside the top 5.
No mistake, no big errors. That's going to be the main goal. And right now, Oliver Nybert, fastest kart on track here by about half a tenth of a second going through. And it's no surprise there because the 856 of Nybert is behind Johnson, who's behind Berghofer, the top three as they go through. So the thing to really watch out for at this point, if Johnson and Nybert start battling, what does that result in? We've already seen, again, I have to go back to that KA Masters run this morning. We saw it all the way come down to 2 laps to go when we saw the front start battling, and that's where the implications swung for the race. It didn't have championship changing implications in Masters, but we're in KA Juniors. It could have championship implications here. Let's watch and see how they go down the final corner. Still holding single foul for now.
I think right now we're going to see, like we saw in some of the previous races, they're not going to pull the trigger and go for the position unless they are confident enough that that pass will work, that pass will stick, and they can run away. It's still early in the race. A lot can happen between now and that checkered flag, like we've touched on time and time again here today, as we watch them work together and try to run away from both Kai Mars and Berkeley. Meanwhile, Bowling Green, he's moved up a couple of more spots. He's now in the top 10 in 9th position, and he's quite a ways off the pace. He's about a second behind the next driver of Isaac Carvalho.
Hanging out there just behind Isaac Carvalho, trying to push and close along. It's very hard to close gaps sometimes once they open in karting, because you lose the help of slipstream, you lose the help of run, and everyone is so close in pace here in these positions that a lot of times you end up just seeing the karts sort of shuffle their way through, trying to find positions here, there, where they can. Everyone looking over the shoulder here, going around in the middle of the pack as they go through. This is further back. Look at that. That's down at the bottom of the hill. I did not expect to see him move at the bottom of the hill, but yet we have. That was a great
passing indeed, and Bowling Green is trying to get further up the running order as we watch these drivers work their way through. Meanwhile, looks like Cameron Johnson and Berghofer starting to get some space between themselves and Nyberg as they snake their way out of the S's. A couple of drivers dodging and weaving, trying to hold on for their position as they come down the back straightaway. 5 minutes plus 2 laps.
Let's see how this plays out going down into the final corner. There's your top 4. Then there's P5, 6, 7, 8 as they go through and along. Or sorry, no, this is 6, 7, 8, 9. And then it's 10, 11, 12, 13 going through. Look at this side-by-side battle going down into the hill. That is going to be a big move along there as they continue to fight through this 804. Given the hurry up to the cart there, trying to get a move to get past Carvalho, get past Price. But it's a big, hard fight going through right now as they've hit these chunks of carts, and you see everyone's still looking for positions, still looking for something through. Dragunov and Portnoy side by side through. There's contact.
Contact indeed for a couple of drivers. One of them, I try to get the number, it's just one of the barriers blocking the way, but that looks like to be the 74 machine. Or the 04 machine, actually. That looks like to be Bowen Green collected up in that incident. So for Green, it's going to be another DNF along with the other driver. That looks to be Eslick involved. Yep, Graham Eslick also collected on that incident. So a tough break as they were in the top 10. And for Bowen Green, we were looking forward to seeing him work his way through the field after starting 18th. But unfortunately, it will be game over for both of them here in the field.
And he had worked his way through half of the field at that point. So he was having a great run. You see him there just sit down on the barrier, watch the carts go by. You could see the frustration, the heartbreak, hitting the steering wheel instantly as soon as he realized. And I gotta wonder who was going for the pass on who at that point, what was happening, because that's one of those that sometimes you see that go along and it's hard to tell sometimes which cart was in which position doing what. I'm sure that'll be one that'll be looked at by race control post-race here to see if there's anything to be done at that point. But up front, Berghofer, Johnson, Neighbor, they hold on through, and we're under 4 minutes to go plus 2 laps. At what point does Nybert decide to jump the gun here and start going for a fight?
We have to say he's got to start figuring it out that pretty soon here, because Cameron Johnson, I have a feeling, is ready to also make the run up to the front of the field as well. And try and challenge for a race win. There you see Nyberg now on the back bumper of Cameron Johnson. Do they start to work together to find their way around Berghofer for the race lead? Heading down into the hairpin. Great passing opportunity we've seen time and time again. No driver is ready to go for the win just yet. There's plenty of time to work with. I think it's just a matter of being patient, not being that aggressive, knowing there's still plenty of time to get past for the race lead.
Plenty of time to get past, plenty of opportunities to get past here. You just have to be very, very wise and smart about it going through. Let's see here, top three still holding their way along and on. They're having a great run here going through. So we'll see what happens for them as it goes through. Top three still holding along here. Nobody really looking for anything. They're all very similar in time. Just for Nyberg, it's sitting back, it's waiting. When does Johnson and Berghofer decide to really start battling?
Well, I guess the big question is going to be when it will, and we will be anticipating that pass for the race lead here momentarily as the clock continues to wind down. Oh, a little bit of beating and banging further back, just around the top 10. Between Portnov, Dragunov, Roland Smith, and Jesse Frazier. Dragunov was the one who had that little bit of a slide, dropping him back to the front, with Frazier on his heels as they come out of turn 3 and 4. A look over the shoulder by the 51 of Dragunov as he's trying to place where he can regather his momentum and make a charge back to at least where he was the previous lap.
And that would be ideal for him if he can make that charge. He's certainly trying it. And let's see here as it goes through. I see a black flag has been issued for Bowen Green at this point. So I think Race Control have already very quickly taken a look at that incident. And I saw a black flag for Bowen Green pop up there for a moment. We'll double check that and see exactly what that's for. But I have a feeling that we know that that one was for incident responsibility.
Yeah, that will put him out of the competition, finishing possibly 15th or worse. We'll wait for post-race penalties after that, as there you see enter into the scale line. His day is done after such a great opening run from working his way through the field. Unfortunate for him. We'll hopefully see him, I think, if I remember correctly, to a 6th junior category later on this afternoon.
We'll see here how the afternoon goes. Hopefully it's a better afternoon than it is in the morning here after our final event of the morning. And then, well, it's lunch break, and then it's warm-ups, and then we do everything we did this morning with our 206s as they go. Look at this hard side-by-side fighting going along. This is exciting to see. Look at that.
That's between Dragunov along with Smith and Portnov, or Fraser, as they are fighting it out for that 9th position. With only 18 seconds to go, it's a good fight. Here comes Frazier to the inside of Dragunov, as there is the incident report for the driver of Bowen Green. Unfortunately, he's already out of the race here, so we should get 3 laps to go as we watch these drivers battle inside the top 10.
This battle continues to come through, and along here, look at this hard-fought running going through as you watch on from the clubhouse here at the top of the hill coming through. Tuck the helmet in. Keep the fight alive here is the goal. Top 3 still running their way along as the time is through. And, well, here we go. This is going to be where we see what can come of the top 3. 2 to go as they cross the line. And you'll see Berghofer, Johnson, and Nyberg, top 3. Nyberg's closed up, or actually passed Berghofer here. And now he's going to look for a run on Johnson here down the hill. He's got pace up the hill. That 856 looking really good.
Yeah, Cameron Johnson works his way up to the front of the field, and he will now lead. What can Nyberg do? He's got 2 laps to try and see if he can take the race win away from the driver of Cameron Johnson. He's got a big run down this side straightaway. Look to the inside. Major blocking going on into there. Gotta be careful with how many times to throw that block. As they snake their way through the S's and now down the back straightaway. Johnson looks over the shoulder. He's got to be careful because here comes Berghofer and Nyberg working together. They're going to try to set something up down onto the final hairpin as he goes all the way to the bottom, white lining around the circuit. And now here comes Berghofer with a run. He's going to go for 1 position. Now look to go for 2 as he crosses over to go around the outside one more time around.
Last time through, we go up the hill, down the hill. It's a pass down the hill. I didn't expect to see this, but around the outside, we try to go with Nybert. He goes through, he gets the run, and he doesn't do anything with it. He tucks right back in there, holding his momentum, holding his time, knowing that pass on the hill would just be crossed back into turn, the double left-hander here, turn 7 as it goes. Here we go, defense to the inside from Johnson. Berghofer to the outside. Nybert sitting stationary as they go through, and here we go, Berghofer now to the inside. Johnson to the outside. He loses one position, he loses both positions. Down in the P3, down the back stretch they're going to go. This is the final time around. It's going to be a big send coming up.
Here comes Nybert. He knows he has a shot. If he can go for the race win, what will he decide to do? He gives a little bump into the final hairpin, tries to move him up the racetrack. Here comes Cameron Johnson with a big send. He'll drag race down to the start-finish line, give the win to Berghofer, and Johnson down to 3rd position. Oliver Nybert will finish in 2nd position. So we'll have to wait to see from the officials of how the championship will go. That's going to be a fun one to determine amongst the KA juniors. An exciting morning of competition here today. And we'll do it all again in a little bit of time. Kick off with the warm-ups of free coverage beginning at 12:40 Eastern. And then later on, we'll be back at it for the coverage of pre-final and finals. And how about the sportsmanship among Berghofer and Nybert and company?
Oh, they know that was a good race. And look at that. Berghofer knows he got the run. Look at him. He came across the line with both hands up, and he points at the drone, throws his hand up. He knows he got that win, and that was a hard-fought, well-deserved win from Berghofer. Give it up for anyone in the top 3, though. They had great runs. And what about Bergflow there in 4th with a great run? And, yeah, I mean, wow, what a morning.
What a morning indeed. We'll be back later on this afternoon for coverage of our 206 category. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Apex Karting Championship morning session. And we'll have more updates for you as far as championships in our other categories later on this afternoon. But then, of course, it's now time to do it all over again for our 206. Give out the big trophies, the big points, and the championships here later on. We'll see you here on Kart Chaser.
Gee, looks like we're missing the engine. What the hell am I supposed to tag?
What do you mean? It's my Greyhound. It's all I need.
Where's the rest of it?
It doesn't matter. It's a Greyhound.
You gotta make weight. Okay, you're good.
I'm sitting by here with Kyle, our race winner. Tell me how you did it. You were blazing fast out there, and I mean, you don't even have a go-kart, man. Tell me about it.
Yeah, you know, Norberg Schmorberg, the Greyhound-powered Greyhound was great today. You know, it makes the difference. And the team's been working really hard back at the shop, and, you know, just shout out Greyhound.
Thank you, Kyle. How the f did you just win?
Doesn't matter. It's a Greyhound.
Are you stuck with your kart racing? Not sure the ideal kart setup? Or going to a track for the first time? Well, Kart Class has the answers for you. Our online portal has a wealth of experience and knowledge to help your kart racing. From kart setup advice to track guides that are targeted specifically to your circuit, or the driver coaching aspect with mindset, racecraft and driving techniques. If you want to take your karting to the next level, visit us at kartclass.com.
Are you looking to take the next step in your racing journey? Well, look no further than PitFit.
With 2 locations in Charlotte, North Carolina and Indianapolis, Indiana, PitFit trains drivers all the way from grassroots level karting to IndyCar and NASCAR with top-of-the-line personalized coaching to improve physical and cognitive fitness.
For more information on programs, check out PitFit on Instagram or Facebook today.
Cat food marketing. $9.99 a month.
Dude, Caleb, wake up. Dude, we're live in 5 minutes. Let's go. Come on. What are you doing?
Dude, I'm so sorry. Xander had me in a cat food marketing meeting till like 2 a.m. last night.
Come on, man.
Do you have anything I can drink?
Dude, I got the perfect thing for you. Perico. It's a healthy energy drink alternative.
Perico, non-GMO, gluten-free, kosher, magnesium, B12, B6,
Yeah, it's good.
B5, biotin, and 0 sugar? Pericazo! Try Perico, made with natural ingredients, organic caffeine, and supports your metabolism. Try the new official energy drink of Kart Chaser.
Holy massive